Let's go, baby.
And here we go.
Game one, chat. Game 1 of 5.
Game number 1.
I'm excited to hear. I'm excited to hear this casting
right now. I think there's
from
a lot of teams
Mini
here
Miner.
we would expect
Ooh, Lone Wolf's gone.
their way through via consistency, via victory royales. But this
Oh my God, FSGS is back. Set lobbies, baby.
Has provided a few upsets in the past. So will we see another one today?
But one thing's for sure is
that Waze cons at Lone Wolf.
See a little bit of action taking place at some of the contested areas early on.
Oh, no one's gone down yet at Lone Wolf. That's not good for either of these teams. This is going to drag out a lot.
Based on which teams actually manage.
This is going to drag out a lot.
Work their way out with the victory royales, but as for right now, Fire Bro, Lone Wolf Lair, seemingly just going to be
Fire Bro.
split
Good
right
old
off the
Fire
bat.
Bro.
And Sadie Monet, they're going to be a little bit deeper inside the building, but still.
So Sadie, Monet, and Waze. I don't know too much about Sadie.
Where exactly their opposition lies, because you can tell they want to close in. They're feeling
Dude, this is
relatively
already such a
healthy.
bad way to fight Lone Wolf, man. They're going to get third parties so hard, especially by Kiddo.
Yeah, we expect those sort of fights to be a little bit more passive in the first game.
Bro, no way they're dragging out the Lone Wolf fight when there's a team getting just trained. That's going to be so bad. Ooh, we're already getting surge tags going. Bro, the game's been going for a minute. We're already surge tagging the train.
They're cracking it open right now. The mythic pump shotgun that they're going to be able to obtain from there is going to be really important as well. Of course, as it continues to drive on through.
This is good. They're going to be so close to Lone Wolf. They can take all this loot and just clean Lone Wolf. Surely they're going to clean Lone Wolf.
From this train alone, but they will of course have.
Monet just went down.
What I like about this is, of course, the train spawns in the same place in every single game, so they know exactly where it's going to be. And they can get that pump every
I want to see what loot they walk away with. What loot does a trio walk away with on this split? It's looking really good already. Jeez.
Minor woes teams just trying to get a couple of surge attacks across the match. And Fletcher Kane as well, that unstoppable medallion.
Where's the... Oh, there's Volker. I was like, where's Volker? She will...
Back to focusing in
on Arianli's team.
Keep in mind.
The Mass Meadows fight.
Trying to open things up here at Mass Meadows, and
Call Marius wins first game. Yeah, that's my prediction too, man. Marius probably the most win potential of any team here. And it's looking like a center-ish zone. Mass Meadows, kind of center zone. So
it's got to keep an eye out for what might be lurking behind him. Double collapse nearly.
The winningest? God, I fucking hate that term.
Yasin just doing what he can, farming a little bit more material, knows that he's going to need to be healthy, and Ivan's got to be careful as well. Doesn't want to find himself overly exposed to any teams that are further south here.
Nice, Ufa, nice.
Yeah, and I think this is where a lot of these fights are going to be taking place here at Mass Meadows, just in that sort of main bank vault. Of course, that's what
so if you guys got hit, chat, the group format is super simple. 5 set lobby games today. If you win a game, you go straight through to grands. If you get top 5 without a win, you also go through to grands. Really simple format.
I think you're right there. They might have noticed there was another team coming on through. Frixify, Panda.
What's up, Dougie? Yes, chat. Still sick. It's just my voice, though. I feel great. I just sound like shit, so appreciate the love, chat, but it's going to be a good day. I might be talking a little bit less than usual.
And it's these early tags that are going to be so important for these teams. Of course, getting that early damage done early is so important. Getting that storm surge damage out of the way is just so crucial, especially going into the first game.
Khan's fighting. Oh, wait, is this Scroll we're fighting? No, we're not fighting. Wait, we're Scroll conned? Why are we fighting over here? Interesting.
Back at it with Khan and Ankido. They want a fight. They want to get some of that early surge online. But Outlaw Oasis proving to be a little bit a difficult one to break through as far as an engagement is concerned. They know that
I'm just gonna be watching the broadcast. There's no real reason to what we'll go back if there's someone wins on stream. We'll go back and get their reaction just for the vibes. But we'll be watching the broadcast all day. Only one player has died. Only 2 players have died. Actually insane. 2 of 99 have gone down in the whole time this game has been running. EU is passive today. Holy.
Absolute catastrophe here for Putrix's team.
Yeah, really great stuff from this trio, though. We know how good this team are at fighting. Their mechanical ability is great, and I think what was most important then for them there was just the fact that they were able to avoid the shots of Sky and Scroll on that hill that we can see right there. Of course,
Sky and Scroll gonna be loving life right now.
Sky and Scroll are gonna be easily there to pick up some tags.
Oh, come on, Marius, get active, son.
Block off all of their angles and take down.
I want to see how the Lone Wolf fight's going. Surely it's a grief fest right now.
So good start for that team. It's almost the dream start As now Vanya picks
I think Bernie with a prime for 3.
We've often seen from this trio roaming around their drop spot looking for Storm Surge tags. Remember last year, or last season I should say, they landed that sort of edge map drop down towards the factory, Kappa Kappa factory, and they didn't actually qualify from there whilst being uncontested. So
Vanya's qualified for Grand 7 times by winning game. Maybe I should go over here.
As well as being able to convert those sort of top 2 situations into wins is going to be so vital for this team now, particularly in this sort of format where wins do really matter. But I'm excited to see what this team can do. I think they'll have a definite case to say they're probably the best team in the lobby in terms of their performances this season.
I think that's the best spot we found.
I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table.
But one thing's for sure, Vanya maybe getting a little bit more of a haircut than what he'd bargained for initially. Stormy, not exactly the friendliest barber, but it's all about that early surge damage. Get a glimpse back into what happened with Kolb. He was the lone survivor out of Putrix's trio, and unfortunately won't be standing for much longer. That is an
I wonder who's going to do the play-by-play casting on this combo, I've just realized.
All the while going to recognize the fact that, hey, these teams are getting active.
Ooh, gold pump for Scroll, nice.
Go for R damage.
New format? No, this is the identical format to last season.
Off, held a little bit at bay here, and this positioning as well from
Yep,
Scroll.
reboot card purchasing is in the game now.
He's got the advantage. These teams are going to have to push in eventually. They could look to tank a little bit of that early storm tick damage.
500 gold to buy the reboot card, and it costs the person buying the reboot card. And then it's 500 gold to be, no, I think 1,000 gold to be improved rebooted, but it costs the person being rebooted.
They did it in Major 1 last time, but we know that they're capable of finding a victory royale. The question is their consistency.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely going to be something they're going to learn from, of course, getting into the Major 1 finals, not having the greatest time. But I think that experience is going to be absolutely vital. I know the experience of iDrop is vast, and of course Sky and Scroll, 2 of the finest players, upcoming players as well, if you like, when it comes to their skill ceiling. They still have a long way to go.
There we go. Okay, I'm trying to adjust the volume a little bit.
A long way to go.
That's better.
What they can achieve.
I feel like that might make them too loud now.
For Vasquez and this team, they're looking to stay a little bit lower down, and this is something that we will see a lot of today, I think. Players driving those vans after claiming the loot inside. This is definitely a bit of a benefit for these teams.
Wait, we're actually driving the van? That's not normally... Oh, here we go. Kido's getting active from the train.
Goes down.
93 players surge active is wild.
We know how good this team can be when they're fighting. You can see it in the inventory. Mythics galore.
Yep.
Really
wow, look at the loadout already, man. We got mythic, collateral, mythic pump. I'm very glad I put this team on my to win game.
Fell victim to the cleanup crew here, though, but Floki, he's got other plans in mind. Cringe, Kiduo, Volko, they might be on the receiving end of this, but the 3-2-1 doesn't connect, and now they've been completely revealed. The stealth strategy not actually going to bode very well for them. Currently, Floki just trying to tarp out as much space as possible.
Kiduo, Cringe, and Volko looking excellent this game for a win.
Kiduo, Volko, they seem like they're interested in tangoing just a little
yeah,
bit
not the greatest
here.
sneak play, unfortunately.
Keeping tabs on Gavix, just behind them, lurking nearby in pump power. Kiduo knows they've already got ample amounts of surge.
This zone should be very favorable to Vanya, I think, as well.
Still, there could always be room for more.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think they'll be
you with the tier 1, thank you, bro. Thank you, yeah.
For that team, really great work from them. I mean, they have that confidence of the loot, as we spoke about earlier, from that train. It just gives them that freedom, if you like, just to hop in box, hit a 200 pump. It just really can flip a fight in an instant.
2 launch pads scares me a bit. We haven't seen launch pads be super effective this season, so I'm a bit interested.
The factory, which I spoke about earlier, hasn't quite generated as much success in history, but what they're able to do from it is what's most important, as they're just trying to take advantage of those players sort of boxed up inside of Seaport City and around the other areas. Of course, they'll also be looking back at them. It's not a bad position, though. I kind of like this sort of it being in between 2 teams. If you don't get beamed like that, though, as Texi does get cracked, that's a difficult situation for him.
Yeah, and it's tough too, because it didn't seem as though they had a whole lot of heals as far as their loadouts were concerned. So they're going to likely have to try and commit for a fight, and soon. And a team that's kind of on the opposite end.
Bit easy to see in-game, Ray, but yeah, some of the surge tags these guys hit is crazy. Some of the players they see. I mean, they full sniff the pixels, though.
Group 1, and for good
you ever seen Kanatigon for surge tags? He's like in the monitor.
As far as their come up since their performance outside of Major 1. These guys have just been on a rampage, it seems like.
How you feel about Mini Miner and Taco? Their color casting is always going to be good. I'm interested to hear how the end game goes, because I'm guessing Taco is going to do the predominant play-by-play casting, but we'll see.
Ivan, just outside of Mars Meadows.
Ooh, Cade taking an aggressive fight.
A little bit longer as they're sort of round 2.
Only 9 players have gone down, bro.
The bank. It's Neuer's team that, of course, that will be contesting them all day. Just trying to find angles here. CK trying to do that iron as well.
A lot of gold pumps, man. We're seeing a lot of gold pumps.
On the screen, of course, Misha, a player that still hasn't quite had as much success as he would have liked since no longer playing with Teeny. Actually made a grand finals or major finals since then, so...
Yeah, this surge is about to be brutal.
But it's these fights right here. These are the moments...
Thank you, Ocean. Appreciate the prime, man. Thank you, Toguru.
Both teams will need the surge. And for now, it's a bit of a stalemate because nobody wants to make that big mistake. Nobody wants to... Yeah, the servers, it looks like the servers are really optimized this season. We're not lagging at all right now. There'll be a bit of desync as always, but for this stack of a lobby without lag, this is looking really good. We got a reboot. We're gaining players, bro. We're gaining players.
But not willing to fully close in on that distance. The intention just seemed to be get a little bit of surge online and push forward. They know they've got to get to that edge of zone. Teams are already likely going to be holding them the moment that they touch foot inside of the next zone. So
not always, Kyan, not always.
Check back in, see how that's actually boding for them later on. But Lone Wolf Flare, Stormy Right, Arco.
Are we pumping the merch?
Kind of just waiting. And you have to keep in mind, Minnie, there's definitely going to be some effects of surge damage coming into play here for a lot of these teams.
I haven't spoken to her since I've woken up with the deep voice fridge because it's 1:30 a.m. here, so we'll find out in about 7 hours.
So you know teams are going to be threatened.
Yeah, it's a really difficult balance to find when you're in these sort of situations because, you know, if you look at the meta, you look at the way that the guns are laid out, you see sort of hit, scan, scope weapons. You think,
is this the Storm you're at? This is the Storm you're at.
Surge towers, but as we saw last season, it was
OG, bro.
Box-to-box activity. So I think as the day goes on, we'll definitely see a lot more of that progressing. And I think we'll see a lot of our teams that
Group 1 is the least experienced EU group. Only 44 players played Chapter 6 Season 1 groups.
Some surge tags earlier on. Let's take
wow.
Maybe we won't or weren't taking earlier on.
That could mean they're older players who just didn't do well last season. I would question that stat a bit, but that's still interesting though. So more than half this lobby didn't even make groups last season. That's crazy.
Make sure that you're not going to be going down too early. That's the most important thing.
For sure, but
yo, King Server, thanks to you on 21, bro.
Jake Buka's surge base doesn't seem as though he's been flagged out just yet. Ivan and Aryan try and provide as much backup as possible. Truly, Jake Buka and
that would explain the passiveness right now. If half these players didn't make groups.
By a different team entirely, completely exposed team in the surge.
Damn, scroll down or scroll clutched. I think.
They are not going to allow Cade, Aryan, and
based on the kill feed, I think scroll solo.
Jump immediately into the box here. Cade gonna try to get some return fire online, but instead it's an all-out scramble.
Oh, we're below.
Distance, still peppering them as they go, and Aryan knows he's got to come up big with a huge connection shot. Otherwise, they're gonna get keyed from 2 different directions.
We're blacking the Taco cast, and let's go. Let's get some hype going. Hell yeah, Taco.
They didn't capitalize on those fights earlier on, not at the bank, not just outside of the POI. This is where things start to get a little bit desperate for them as Cade tries to get inside of the box with the kneecapper. Doesn't quite go as well as Ivan does the same, swinging, trying to get some hits through, connecting with so many. Jake Buka's the only one left, and it is a success for the trio. They're all still alive.
It's out of the park.
What a meta, bro. What a meta. Just dunk, dunk, dunk. You just keep hearing that really high-pitched fucking dunk.
Finally, a moment
amazing.
To breathe, though,
amazing.
And that's all that Aryan really needs, but it's the fact that all you can hear is the thwacks.
the whack.
Stop. Home runs trying to be hit across the board here. An absolute chaos fest, but
dude, they really love adding an attack ability to every single melee weapon, huh? Like it's just the new thing, huh? We just can't have a rotation item unless you can hit someone with it. Bro, that's why they vaulted the mask, man, because you can't smack people with it. Makes sense.
I mean, this is absolutely unreal. The way that
oh, we're gonna show it again. Sick. Yeah, we need to watch this again. Let's see what happened here. Yep, that'll do it.
Just cleaning up there at the end. I mean, that is an element of that kneecapper that is definitely going to be very important this season. We talk about it so often as a mobility sort of item, as we see Scroll doing that right now, but he's lost 2 of his teammates. And I think we're definitely going to see some close-range encounters with that kneecapper, but for now, Scroll's got a major problem on his hands. He's lost both iDrop and Sky.
22 of today's players were in the Chat the 6 Season 1 Grand Finals. That's not a lot. Only a fifth of the lobby.
I was nearby, much more interested in actually getting into zone, but they might linger. It's going to be a tough position, though, for Scroll to actually dig his way out of. I'm not sure that even a reboot scenario necessarily.
Last season I was betting this one. I can't lie. I like both. I like both for their own reasons.
But as far as looking for that win and you're in scenario is concerned, many have to expect that some of these other teams a little bit better poised for that.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely a lot of teams in here that will look to try and go for that win. Of course, now that they've been able to get that early Storm Surge damage, I think for iDrop, Sky, and Scroll, it's about trying to get as many points.
Why is this like zone rule scrim so stacked? Well, that stat about half this lobby.
Coming clutch later on in terms of consistency. So
apologies. Half this lobby not making last groups. Definitely explains the passivity. It's just like scrims. If people aren't as experienced, they always play safer. They're more scared. So if you're a team like Vanya who's confident to run through lobbies like this, they're looking really good.
Inside of the meta, I know Takata talked about it at the beginning, where it's going to be a big element when it comes to the end game, but even sort of the early to mid game as well, just being able to almost skip that mid game and sort of stay inside of the storm for such prolonged periods of time. We see Scroll, iDrop, and Sky now back together as a trio doing the same. Going to be so important.
Oh.
Carmen Shaco's immediately knocked, eliminated.
Damn.
Carmen,
Shaco's team should be in a way better position than this with Uncon Seaport. Then again, we didn't see how this started.
Tag team combination, but Carmen, he's just falling too incredibly low. He's gonna have to back up for a moment. Tricks, fortunately, gonna be able to bail his partner out of his current position, but a lot of commotion pulling so much attention their way.
A lot of teams in Storm. Oh, starting to look a little bit laggy now.
Got to be careful as well. They know that there are other teams looking to collapse, but Piros, he's still completely focused on where Carmen and Tricks are at. Aussie might be able to get sneak shot, playing around the tree, a little bit of natural coverage, but he knows there's other teams just too close by. He wants to see if he can find an angle, but Memnis Grenade gonna ensure that Bozzy's able to get a little bit healthier than what he was just sitting at. And Tricks and Carmen, it's a choice at this stage, Minnie, but looking for the fight might just be better off here.
All right, now we're down to 65.
Instead, they're just gonna
we'll be lost so far.
Disengage as much as possible. They don't feel healthy enough to fight.
Yeah, in those sort of situations, you either have to just disengage entirely and just work with what you've got, or try and close out the fight as quickly as possible with the amount.
So as far as big teams we've lost so far, not really any. Stormy Riot might be, and Jake Buka's team.
The problem is, though, if you look at where the zone is, there's so many teams now they have to sort of rotate through. Players looking down from above, players sort of towards their back as well. It's going to be a really, really difficult rotation for now.
You Silas for the Prime?
Really not going to be easy at all, as now Storm Surge will start to sort of kick in as well pretty shortly for some of our teams, and this is just not the greatest situation. Again, I think this is where this team just need to try and think, right, let's just try and get into those placement points. Let's try and ensure that we're not going to waste this game.
Problem is they've got to scale up some of the mountain phase spanning around brutal boxcars, and they've also got to deal with an entirely fresh trio right behind them, but the team's already elevated and boxed up. They're going to be the ones.
Widow with the Prime, thanks, man. Today's only Group 1, yeah. Group 2's in like 6 days. Bro, scrappy first game, man. Bro, teams like Vanya, if they're stacked right now, are going to be like kings of this lobby.
They are taking full advantage of having already been positioned inside the zone. It is just easy pickings, or at least that's what it seems like, but they need these eliminations, Minnie. They would like a refresh because they know mats go quickly when you're dealing with some of this elevated terrain.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean,
yeah, brutal boxcar zone. This could be interesting if it pulls onto the mountain.
They have the health advantage as well. It looks as though Tricks and Carmina look like they are actually ticking for Storm Surge, and yeah, it's going to be Carmina that does go down to the Storm Surge, I believe.
I'm expecting these last few games to get like extremely scrappy. Players who play this passive then full scramble when they need start getting panicked. It's going to go from like an ultimate passive lobby to like full W key shit show. Just wait.
Exactly what this team have just done. In that situation, as we get to see some more great plays here from Artis, who's just looking back sort of towards the storm. Really nicely done from him there. Bolstering this team's loot, some more eliminations as well. Huge for that team.
Tayson, on the other hand, he's... What they need to connect with most is those late game refreshes. That is something that Tayson and Chicho have notoriously struggled with.
Ooh, we're looking good here. Come on, Tayson. Come on, Tayson. I would love Tayson to be the first team in Grands.
But Mini, they're looking like they might be in a pretty nicely set position, at least in comparison to some of these teams that are kind of...
You do get Surge and a knock body, yep.
Outside of that center zone. Sky, I drop Scroll. Largely just Sky and Scroll at this point, though. I drop unfortunately.
Oh, what's up, Fortunate? We'll see. Probably not, bro. We'll see. Thank you, son.
Here
Anthony,
Sky
Withers,
and Scroll.
Sios. Thanks for the sub chat.
They're not
Appreciate
gonna be
you.
able to make it to the body, though. They know they're getting cut off from the rest of the lobby, hoping to not get focused in the process. Sky does manage to pick up some much-needed siphon materials, but it's still a very difficult position to play from. They know that high ground could take notice of them at any given moment. Another big knock, though, for Sky. It is just going to continue buying them more and more time.
Ooh, Sky Skull win game one. Come
They're
on.
going to make a max pull rotation here.
Oh, that's not good. What am I saying? It's not a win. It's not a win.
They rotate early, they try and get a little bit of extra loot, but of course time needs to be on their side. For that to happen, they need to get out of here as quickly as possible, rotate on through. They do find the elimination there on Sapphire, bro, and we...
How Sky and Scroll so shambles? We didn't watch it, but we saw in the feed they got into a fight earlier.
Sapphire, bro, of course, can't really escape. And that's crucial for that team because
Twin Mag versus Hollow Twister is more of a matter of preference. The Twin Mag technically has higher DPS, but it's much higher recoil. So if you can control it, it's definitely worth running, but most pros are still running Hollow Twister.
Floki as well, continuing. You just spray at this moment, but it's going to be difficult as is for anybody to even try and challenge for the high ground, much less make it.
Oh, Monet's not looking great.
So all that congestion that's starting to pull into those lower layers, it's going to pose a huge threat to teams like iDrop, Sky and Scrolls, because again, they're
the Frenchie's up above. Only 90 in the chug though.
But Snazy connecting all the way across this mountain range mini. This is such an optimal position to be in.
Oh, Sky's gonna get some freebies here. Yeah, nice.
Sky and Scroll. I mean, this is a team, of course, that did duo up. They were a duo, so they're gonna have to use all of that experience. Maybe even communicating in Danish now.
Ooh, Huddy. Huddy win would be nice.
In their native language to each other. Without having to worry.
Or do Savage fans still hate Huddy? They probably do. Yeah, boo, fuck Huddy. Contested my goat, bitch.
This game. What's that? 6 eliminations. Huge amount for this team. It gives them that freedom, that flexibility in endgame, just to play the way that they like. And you can see the gold splashes coming through here as well, just allowing them to get right to that front side of zone. You see them eyeing up another elimination. It's just these frags, these late game refreshes that are going to... It
does feel like we're not showing Marius. Oh. Never mind, don't show Marius. It's fine. It's all good. Oh, no, now they're fucked. Oh, no.
Yeah, the main thing was that Dexy and Artis looked like they had almost cut off Vanya's trio for a moment, but Marius, Pixie, they're wasting no time whatsoever.
Ooh, drop. Oh, no. We got splashes and chug, but oh, no.
Overhead. So now that's going to force this trio to go.
Who's winning this? I actually don't know. I think Tayson off the low ground could pull off the low ground dub, honestly.
That was a massive chop there. Snazy looked like he might have potentially dropped to grab some loot, but either way.
Snazy goes down to Artis. French on French violence.
That is not ideal whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't want to go down to full damage. Yeah, that's bad. Oh no, we're going to show it. Oh no, we're going to show it. The broadcast is weird as fuck for that. No way we're going to replay him just not sprint jumping. Yo, blast. What the fuck? Damn. Yo, we're going for throats this season. Fuck yeah. God damn. They had that shit ready. Oh, fuck no. They all died to fall. No. Oh, no. Well, that is... Oh, boy. Hey, looking good for Huddy, though. Looking good for Huddy. Let's go. Let's go.
To the high ground, hoping to not make the same mistakes
well,
as the members they just took out, but
brutal.
They're just trying to remain unseen.
Where's Tayson? Did I curse the shit out of him? Oh, I cursed. Oh, no, they're still there. They're still there. Oh, man, Scroll is still going? How is Sky and Scroll still going, bro? These kids aren't real, man. I guess they're 15 years old and Danish. I mean, that's just like, says all you need to know, but like, damn.
for Team Artis.
Really, really nicely indeed. They've got that exotic Chug Jug as well, so things do go down to a heel off. Things are looking very, very strong for them, but the duo of the day so far
This is insane clutch by them.
Continuing to plow through this lobby. 8 eliminations between the two of them, but look at their HP. They're going to need these refreshes sooner rather than later. They're going to need that.
Damn, they're still fucking going. Bro, who's gonna... What? 9 kills. They rebooted iDrive like twice. They've been a duo this entire game. What the fuck is... Bro? What the fuck? Okay, sure, what? Yo, you've got to get fucked. What is happening? Genuinely, what is happening? I'm so confused how we're doing this. What is happening? Dude, there's no way they win, but they're still on the show. God damn. Huddy's team looking real good on the high ground now. It's a full trio. Oh my god, another one! Bro! They just shit on this whole lobby. They just delivered the win to Huddy, bro. Oh, there we go. Bro, Huddy's got to... Bro, Scroll, we got to send Huddy the Venmo or some shit, man. God damn. We just literally delivered them the win. What the fuck? Yo, 13 kill win for Huddy, though. 13 kill win for Huddy. But damn, what a performance from Scroll. Holy shit. I didn't have Huddy on my prediction. Oh, I did have Huddy on my prediction. One down, chat. One down. Look at me go. I'm 1 for 1. 1 for 1. I called them to not win, but hey, I'll still take it. All right, chat. Despite the fact that Huddy popped off and won, we got to give it to Scroll. So, chat, if you guys want to win some V-Bucks, type the word Scroll in chat. SCROLL. Yeah, that's how you spell Scroll. So the way this works, chat, type the word in once. If you type it in multiple times, it doesn't matter. As long as you type it in once, you go in the draw, and then we draw the winners. We DM you the code on Twitch. That's it. Super easy. Make sure your Twitch whispers are on. What a clutch, though, man. What a clutch. I want to put another team on the prediction here. What's another team I can put on the prediction?
Let's see what the Des has to say.
Let's do Serene.
Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations to Hutty, Dexy, and Artist, because we'll be seeing them in the Major 2 Grand Finals in a
All right, so you got 5 minutes on the prediction.
Go, go, go. As you're fresh on the desk this year, why don't you give me thoughts on that end game? Because it feels like there was a trio that got
Queen, Benno, Dippu, Damon, Sam, Krennic, Zillan, Rojo, Fortunate, Anthony, Son, Winner, Theo, Scampy, Rio, Anthony. Thanks for subs, chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I love y'all.
Everything they needed to close that match off, but
yeah, the 10-minute breaks between games is crazy.
You got a sprint jump to not take fall damage, and I don't think Snazy was able to get that jump off, unfortunately, leading to his demise. And then Artist capitalized on that, took high ground, and closed out the match. So overall, congratulations to the trio.
But let's talk about the winners. Come on, Dexy, Hutty, and Artist. I mean,
W11. Gas off the winners, baby. All right, 10 more seconds, chat. We're going to call the giveaway there.
You have so much chaos going on down below that, like, the team that ends up winning can almost sort of skate by, right? To be fair,
yo, Harlow, thanks to 10 for 9, bro.
Incredibly proactive in this end game. And if you know anything about,
all right, we'll call it there, chat. We are going to be doing giveaways after every set lobby game. So all of groups, EU and NA, all of last chance and grants. Fuck, that's a lot of giveaways.
But you know, even before that,
30,
right, going for
36,
on teams that were very proactive, always looking for
48. That's 60 giveaways.
And letting the game pass them by.
And fuck it. It's been a good season. You guys are gassing me up. Thank you, Zyla, with the 5 gifted. Thank you, bro. Moppy, Storm. Thanks, subs, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
You can expect to win a game back in duels with Eclipse as well. So no surprise seeing these guys make that win happen. But
so you have Artiste and Art Skill. You do. They are two different people.
Take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be giving you even more information, all the talking points from game number 1, so don't go anywhere.
Information. Thank you, Vinky. But yeah, chat, obviously you guys can tell with the face cam thingy, but my voice is still a little bit fucked. Thanks for understanding. I appreciate y'all. It'll be 100%, I guarantee, by the next stage of groups. Group 2 onwards, we'll be chilling. I don't get sick very often. All right, Conan, chill. During the 10-minute break, we should all do push-ups. Okay, Nick A30, calm down. I want to sit on my fat ass and stare at my screen and patiently wait. Or impatiently wait, like everybody else. Don't try and make me better myself. Yeah, so the breaks on broadcast are always longer on broadcast days because Blast wants to be able to run ads in the break. I think they've just been not getting too many advertisers, unfortunately. But I don't mind the extra long break. It lets me thank subs, do V-Buck giveaways, chat with you guys for a little bit. I don't mind the longer breaks, honestly. It's crazy, Dax. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Charlotte, Annie, and me are all sick, so... We have our little plague spreader in the house now. Don't mind the music though. Maybe the break won't be. Maybe the break won't be 10 minutes. If it's not 5 games, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's 5 games, they can have even longer breaks. They don't have to worry. I don't know. Yeah, Mikio, appreciate your chat. Appreciate the love. Thank you so much. I actually feel like it's weird. You know when you like sleep, like I swear there is a sweet spot where you sleep for 6 hours and you wake up feeling way better. There is definitely something to that. Thank you, Clip. Thank you, Gen Z. Thank you, Neptune. Appreciate the subs, chat. Now, because I'm not tired, I don't really know what to do with my day if I end for 3 hours at 6 in the morning. So I'll probably just stay live today, but maybe just try and save my voice a bit in the break. Check leaderboard, maybe? I mean, they're just going to check leaderboard anyway, so might as well wait for that, man. I mean, I can check it myself. Why not? I guess we're just sitting here waiting. But they'll just check it again anyway. So we've got... So Huddy's won. Then we have the top 5 that haven't got a win yet is iDrop, Artskill, Chris, Howley, and Ricky. Pretty close so far, too, bro. That 11 and 4th is disgusting, bro. Sky and Scroll, what the fuck did we just watch?
Welcome back to Group 1 of
the bathroom really quickly,
number 2 in the FNCS. And if you missed Group 1's opening match, then you missed a treat because Hutty, I should say, Artist and Texu, they've booked their spot in the Major 2 Grand Finals in a few weeks' time. But it was a very closely run thing, as it always is in the end game. And one player who nearly solo clutched things out for his trio was Tayson11.
Yeah, I mean, if you were following, you know, that team during the end game, I don't think we were specifically like on them, observers watching straight, but like if you saw any of the drone spots, they were always in great positions in that end game, sort of playing sort of how you'd expect Tayson to play, really. There were a lot of situations where obviously like you can see here on mid ground looking for opportunities, then as the zone was moving around the hill, they were sort of playing on low ground quite a bit, and again they were just playing like basic but good Fortnite. There was a point here where obviously Chris goes down, but Chicho and Tayson are still going to be able to make things happen to Carter, and at the end of the day, this is a team who we highlighted at the start of the day as a team who you can expect to be in end games consistently, right? And so, are they going to win a game? I'm not sure.
Hey, Linus, the tier 1.
Chicho and Chilex, they didn't win a game in groups, but they were super consistent. I think we'll probably see the same here today.
Exactly. This trio's perfect at minimizing risk, right? Like you said, and we mentioned earlier, they play incredibly consistent, and in my opinion, they're gonna at least qualify through consistency if they don't end up getting a
really
damn
wow.
That. So seeing them in the top 3, top 5.
What was your top 5 predicts? I'm doing pretty well so far. This is my predicts right now.
Well, let's take a look.
So we already got one correct
and see where Tayson and his trio have got to.
So that's already one that we've got down. So far I'm 1 for 1.
Position. Just the 4 eliminations. Is that something you think will kind of get a little bit, I guess, into the double digits as we move forward to Carter for this trio?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's all about minimizing risk.
Hey, shit, appreciate it, bro.
When you're talking about risky situations, another duo or trio, sorry. I mean, I said duo, I got it confused because it's Sky and Stroll. I mean, they lost iDrop way, like even 7th or before 7th zone, but that duo chemistry.
ESO with the tier 1, quit while you're ahead. No, we'll see how we go.
Player after player, continuing all the way
through Uzi with the prime.
late game, having lost one of their trios already, 11, but it wasn't a problem for them.
Yeah, look, obviously, big up to Dexy and them lot for, you know, securing a spot in the finals.
I mean, chat, someone's got the reaction. I'll definitely chuck it up, but I don't know if we have it.
Sky and Scroll spent a lot of that end game, not just as a duo, but without any shields.
Huddy wasn't live, bro. Huddy wasn't even live.
Any shields. This limb here that Sky gets is just ridiculous. Like, there is no way he should be alive in that position. They survived for so long. you mentioned the dual chemistry that these two have. You know, I asked questions about.
He's going live now after quali.
Going to be as good as it has been last season. If they're starting to pick things up now, and if they can keep playing like that, they're going to shut me.
No, once you win, you stop playing, chat.
It almost felt like a miracle though, boys, because Scroll was on his own in Zone 5. He was able to res Sky, and then the magic truly happened. I just
Yep. So Huddy's drop is now open, chat. That's how groups works.
When that happens. Do you think
So
where
were they dropping again? Oh, so Kappa up for grabs.
Kind of go hell for leather in that final end game, Leather. They're just like, right, just we're lucky to be here. Let's just like risk everything and kind of run it down almost.
Yeah, I think there's different approaches from players, right? I think it depends on.
Hey, thank you, Will Andrew, the dono on YouTube. You put much effort in this channel, and I think everyone can agree that we greatly appreciate. Oh, thank you, Will. Appreciate the $5 dono on the nice message. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, homie.
Others,
appreciate your guys' support.
Just go, well,
yeah, Azalas with the prime.
The best players in the lobby. We'll do what we like. I don't care that we're doing. We will do exactly what we like. And yeah, I'm excited to see if they can transfer that still while playing as a trio.
Has there ever been a season you haven't enjoyed watching fully? Chapter 3, Season 2 and 3, probably. Just really shitty metas. Vibes were just shot. Yeah, Chapter 3, Season 2 and 3 is probably like one of the only times I've watched Fortnite and been like, I'm not 100% enjoying this.
I would love to see how fraggy Marius was getting, because we talked about the fact that he's one of the best fraggers, if not the best fragger in this lobby. So let's see some sweet highlights from him and his trio 11.
This is a pretty crazy highlight. Oh, damn, he's insane. Actually, no, I enjoyed Nitro Season. Not the meta, but the storylines in Nitro Season were amazing. All the EU pros coming to NA, like, can Peterbot do it again? Like, it was... The storylines carried Nitro hard. I still really enjoyed that.
And they have all the firepower and the talent to do so. Got caught off a bit here at times in this end game. But, you know,
oh, nice, Jordan. That's sick, bro.
So we ain't got all 6 games. I kept getting that confused at times last season. But, you know,
yeah, we had Mongrel and Savage trying to make lane. It was just... Storylines were great.
Maybe I think it was Huddy, Dexy, and Artist that actually went for some pre-edits onto Marius early on into that end game. So they had a lot of trios attacking them, but they
didn't like the Angel Wing season.
Can I just say...
Grim season, yeah. The Dash Coin was a bit Mickey for sure. And I really did not like Gatekeeper Shotgun. Very low skill shotgun. Still fun though. It's not my favorite.
Earlier this week, and Podesai was giving it the big chat. He was like, you know, it's the Poda split. I can't do the French accent. I don't want to offend everyone. But no one's going to come up to the Poda split because we're so good off spawn. We're so good at fighting that no one wants to challenge us. But you know what? Only 4 limbs, boys. Yeah, okay, fine. You made it to the end game. You played a really intelligent game, but I still want to see you show off.
Frankie's talking smack. Get him, Frankie, get him.
Since I will be in Leon, so I'm gonna say only good things about my compatriots.
Think he drops with the T on for 29.
Mon ami,
think he died.
Let's go to our casters for game number 2. It is
Thank you, Major.
Miner and Taco.
Thanks all subs, guys.
Thank you so much, Frankie. No French from us, but we are ready here.
No French from us.
Number 2. I mean, Taco, that very first game didn't disappoint. It seemed to have it all. But now I'm ready for game number 2. Let's get straight into it.
No, not yeah. I'm talking chapter 3, by the way, chat. Chapter 3, season 2 and 3.
Game 1 certainly able to deliver, knowing that we still have 4 more matches here.
If I took 100 people who even played in chapter 3, season 2 and 3 competitive and asked them what was the meta, half of them can't tell me. The seasons were so forgettable, they've just melded into one.
Gente just trying to escape, but Monet, he's actually the one on the run here.
Wait, where did he go? Oh shit, he went up. Yeah, W movement. Yo, are we gonna lose this now? What is happening?
Sadie knows he's gonna have to provide a little bit of backup here, but Monet just straight into the perils.
Chat, again, little bit of tech for you guys. Haven't seen it play out too much, but if you throw thermite and it hits a down body, they instantly die. I swear not enough people know this. So if you get a knock in a spawn fight and you know they're rezzing in a box, wait till they start to res, throw the thermite on the wall, and it will instantly kill the down body with one single tick. That's it. I swear I do not see enough people abuse this. If you're taking a spawn fight, don't just throw all the thermite instantly. Wait till you get a knock, get the finish. It's pretty much the freest finish ever.
Elimination without too much concern. Sadie there with the pump and dump is always gonna fall short to 3 players, let alone with some better loot.
That'll be a bit of a lone wolf win, okay? Oh, 2 teams tried to go capping out. Huddy's not there.
Beginning of the day to really get a hold on it, but no, this is it. This is where Kappa captures out. Was uncontested, of course, after that.
Any structure, any wall, the fire goes through the wall and instantly kills the down body.
It's all starting to boil over. Everyone's starting to fight.
Yeah, nice return pick off though from Sharif. Not going to be able to find that full elimination just yet, but you can tell he wants it still. Trying to be mindful.
No, Mask Gamers. So chat, you guys been asked a lot about the Pro-Am. I find out who I'm playing with not tomorrow, the next day. There'll be a live broadcast that I will be live for. And they're going to be announcing our duos during that.
To get a move on. It's 2 versus 2. And that's all it takes.
Okay, we might have... Ooh, I don't think we're going to get back-to-back Kappa wins. Maybe.
Shakiru just bouncing on by. Finn nearly on the receiving end of that one, and Sharif gonna now be forced to play the defensive measure.
Difficult situation right there. I mean, it's difficult when you're playing in a drop spot that you don't necessarily know as much. I mean, of course, this is what we're going to see today. We might see teams switching up their drop spots to try and
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Gets absolutely lasered.
If you're with Pete, do you win? I mean, I might be able to finally put a stop to him.
Allows them to finish off that fight nice and early. So
I'm not the worst creator going, but I'm far from the best, so depends how much better Pete is than the other pros, you know? But if they take like another phenomenal pro, like they take like a Cold and put him with like, you know, a typical gamer or Somerset or someone who's like Div 1, then like that's still better than me and Pete, let's be real.
Yeah, they're not the only team being contested here either. Yasin just breaking into the wall here. Nisha had no chance to really even respond. Gabe continuing to close in.
Shit on.
Gonna be knocked as well.
Nice, good clutch, Yasin. And the res. Great clutch. Yo, what's up, Dumbbounds? Thanks for the 45. You Blue Moon, KJ, Major, drop. If I missed your subs, I'm so sorry. I think he's Solar, Azelis.
As far as being able to play Black Market and everything else is concerned.
Yeah, again, a much different sort of way that
they're doing a lot of replays. I think they've got more observers in this.
A lot more aggression that time, and we saw, of course, a team coming out on top, which we didn't see in the very first game. So already some key differences here in game number 2. Dinas, Giras, and Franek, a team that have been performing very well this season. I know Levin mentioned it at the beginning of the show. They've been able to get victory royales. They've been able to pick up wins and play quite consistently in these sort of divisional cup formats. So they seem to have it all. But for now, their main concern is this team below. It's Ankido, Rizzo, and Khan.
Oh, we're getting a lot more aggressive this game. Oh my god, we've already lost so many more players this game. Holy crap.
And for now, it's starting to be a little bit of a sort of stalemate, if you like, with how these guys are playing it. They're one team on low ground, one team on height. Nobody really wants to make too much of a play as of right now. They're just looking for that first crack tacker. They're looking for that first beam with this burst SMG or any of their weapons that they have, because this is what really can get these fights started.
Problem is, the longer this goes on, the worse off and both teams are going to be for it already. Frenek doesn't even have any materials left over, just kind of depending on his other teammates to sort of play those defensive positions. Surely only a matter of time, though, before we get a conclusion to that exchange. List of shiny chefs, though. Sky, iDrop, Scroll, looking to continue their tear.
Thank you, Foheim with a T1. Thanks, bro.
Unfortunately, it's going to be...
Oh, we're carrying Walter. That's not a good sign.
Snake that are just trying to see if they can even escape in the first place. They are being...
Unfortunately, Walter's being outshone by his much more valuable brother.
Yeah, this is really nice here from Scroll. You can see him just getting a much different angle to the rest of his teammates, and this is really what's happening.
iDrop, Sky, and Scroll are farming.
Tags. You can see Sky from the other side and Scroll.
Walter's the air sprite chat. He's white, you know?
Onto the
Walter White. Come on, chat, lock it. See, you guys even know his fucking name because we never talk about him. He's so shit. Sorry, Walter. He's so cute, but man, he fucking sucks.
To pounce, and you can see why, of course, Sky leading in terms of damage.
Not only do you have to fly in the air and get beamed, you also can't even carry him twice. So you literally use it once and just die. It's like such a shit item.
Especially if
so
they
bad.
already have it, which I'm more impressed to
He's the one who knocks? Genuinely, because when you use it, you get fucking knocked.
They've been heavily commended.
Thank you, Chippy.
That first game was the primary example of exactly what this team's capable of, but we need to get a little bit more of that iDrop into the mix. And once we see all three of them going crazy, that's where I think the true success points will really start to come to fruition here. Cringe, Volko, and Kiruo, though. Scenic views over by the Magic Moss's Black Market. We saw them in a pretty strong position throughout the majority of that first lobby mini, but it kind of just fizzled out for them.
Yeah, I think they could do with a few more splashes, though.
Yeah, I think we need a couple more splashes, honestly. Loadout's looking a bit shit.
6 stacks of them. As now Franek, Dinas, and Giras. This is a
I think we
fight that
definitely want a
saw
few more
early
splashes.
on. A fight that wasn't really a fight, to be honest. It was a bit of a campsite, if you like, between all the different players. But now things are starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Giras just playing right up on top, just trying to look down and provide those.
Giras should be qualling today. If Giras doesn't qual today, that's going to be a bit of an upset for sure. Their drop's kind of shit, but they're definitely one of the best teams in this lobby.
Franek finds the angle. Could barely even see Ankido right there, but Ankido definitely didn't see that coming himself, and that's a crucial moment here. Khan's now left as a solo. Not an ideal situation. We know how good he can be, but is he good enough to take out the prowess?
Oh, who we're getting pushed by, though? We're getting pushed. We're getting pushed. I'm seeing him come in the southwest.
The answer's no.
Short-lived victory, though, potentially here for Franek's team, because we saw
nice beam to open it up.
To be Tayson's trio closing
man, they're really hitting crazy amounts of replays. Yo, Blast is putting in work right now, man. We're getting replays of every fight from the other POV.
Still just choosing to keep tabs inside.
He can change with the Prime. For the tier 1, they can never run with the Prime.
Do believe they were looking for more aggressive points. Part of it being so close by from that Franek skirmish, but instead, no. Scenic views instead, they're just
quick stab.
opting to bide their time, playing these small points of elevation, and just keeping a general scope on where everybody else is at.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's exactly where you want Chicho to be.
He swags the Prime.
Chat,
this is my reminder. Click the link in chat, see if you've got a free Prime. That'll get you through all of FNCS and the new season with no ads. And the Pro-Am, which is crazy to say. Which I will be live for. We've got a very big month ahead of us.
And those pre-edits, of course, so impactful when you can bring them out and, of course, make sure that the other team aren't aware of what's coming. It can really catch you off guard, so really nicely done from those guys.
The thing is, Minnie, we know that this is one of our least experienced groups. As far as all three of the groups are concerned, Group 1 has a good amount of teams and individuals that just haven't necessarily been in that.
Bro, this Drummy is so good.
Before. So
Drummy's actually crazy.
Some of these less experienced teams need to be doing at this point. I
don't know if you guys saw, but Ocus actually had the highest damage ratio
happy that you're not in some of the other groups, I'd say, for starters,
in the last in the play-ins.
Because of course, as you mentioned, there are some big names in the other groups.
For any player, a controller player, showing you how insane that drum gun is. But Oak has always been known for having crazy aim. So
at a split second, and we saw some of our big names going down in the last game and even previously. So if there are sort of smaller teams in here, you just have to play your strategy. You have to play what you practiced. Don't try and deviate too much from that, and ultimately learn from these experiences. Because whether you, of course, qualify or not, it's going to be so vital for them moving forward. But what we have seen in these sort of formats before is genuinely anyone could qualify when it comes to the Victory Royale. So there's going to be some surprises, I'm sure, and it's an opportunity more than anything.
Yeah, I'd almost expect that some of these teams are just going to bank it all on finding the Victory Royale, not even necessarily trying to just confirm placement points. That can be a little bit more difficult.
Ocus was nuts in ESL, yeah.
As much of that tenure underneath your belt in terms of understanding where to establish your surge damage, how to consistently find surge damage as well. With the map,
with the tier 1.
Probably frequently rotating. We've already
Ocus is default controller too, so you know his aim's got to be good. You got no claw, no paddles. Your mechs are never going to be super insane. You got to make up for it with aim.
Things for sure. Yasin's trio definitely happy to find that early success, and we have been seeing a lot of Storm experts throughout the course of today, and I'd imagine this is just going to be a reoccurring theme with how many heals are available.
Yeah, definitely. I think those med mist items as well as sort of.
Thank you, Jack, with the 2 on for 24. Thank you, bro.
Something you're going to use in the end game, so you want to use them at this point in the game. And a lot of people are going to do that.
Oh, come on, Jake.
The pulse scanner here being used by Jake, Buka, Truly, and Zenks.
I reckon this team could definitely get through today.
To get an insight into where these opponents are.
Oh, we're struggling a bit here, though.
Valuable insight, as they're also just staying inside of the storm using these med mists. And of course, the sprites to heal up, and it's a difficult situation for sort of both teams. You see Nemo in the distance there, trying to look for some tags. For these guys, they almost want to jump in, they almost want to make something happen, but it's Nemo from afar that's just sort of causing them not to be able to do that. The moment they expose themselves,
unfortunately, Infiltrator pump not looking great.
So how they play this is going to be really interesting and really vital for the rest of their game.
So unlucky too, because they know Flame already a little bit weak here. having been just bailed out in an earlier fight, but Jake Buka now seeing whether or not he can actually cut through the gap, just continuing, try and go underneath some of these old edits.
Bro, what is going on, man? These fights.
Too much pressure, though.
Oh, this is two good teams. Cringe versus Marius. Two of the favorites to call out of this group right now. This could be bad.
Cringe and Volko, though, they've got wind of where Marius's team is at, and they want this fight.
Yeah, this is a star-studded fight. If I've ever seen one, Marius is looking for an angle.
Marius, Pixie and VA dealt the most hollow twister damage of any team.
As we've spoken about so much already.
This is a good fight, bro. What the hell? Oh,
Pixie with a lovely shot onto Cringe, gives them that opening in this fight, gives them the upper hand, and allows them to get on the front foot, which is different to how they've been playing it so far. Very
Axie, thank you, Jays.
On the low ground, splashing themselves to make sure they have that gold rush effect, which is so important in this fight.
The pull-out time Conanites is the weakest factor of the infiltrator.
Some people off guard.
It hits decently hard, but if you're like trying to be mechy and like, you know, box fight a good opponent, you're trying to get close, quick edit, jump shot, it just doesn't stack up to the pump. And the structure damage of the Sentinel is just so OP. So honestly, if you're not super mechy and you're just going for aim and aim doors and stuff, the infiltrator's fine, but you verse a good player with a pump and the pressure they can apply with pumping walls and then also the quick pull-out time, it's just, it outclasses it for sure.
Still, I can imagine that they would have preferred to just get a clean elimination wipe onto Cringe.
The range on it is crazy though. It's a sniper for sure.
To actually close in any
further. Are you loud?
After getting such a well-placed pump shot. That is Tayson and Chicha though, spending all of their time inside of Crime City's black market. That's the benefit of having control of such a prime resource. Turf, you can just stick around as long as you want.
Jake Buka's still fighting. It's a new team now, though. Oh my god, this is terrible.
Only this time, it's in a duo performance scenario. Zen knows he's got to reunite with his other teammate. Jake Buka just so incredibly low, but this team not willing to let up the pressure. Etsy,
oh boy,
can smell the fact that they've got clean eliminations here.
What am I watching?
They just need to close in.
Remember, Etsy's trio were running away from Hydrop, Sky, and Scroll at the beginning of this game, so they've really been able to move up.
What? Oh, shit. Well, there's the infiltrator damage. He just didn't have to switch. See how he didn't switch or build anything? He just hit back-to-back shots.
Beautiful shots, a collection of connections in terms of headshots.
There's the damage.
That's what you need to turn the tides in a fight, and that fight really had to end quickly, and that's how it's done.
I swear that's cheats. SD's a controller player. Not saying he's not cheating, but he's been around for a while now. If he is cheating, he started cheating because he's been around for a long time and I haven't seen anything sus from him. I love how someone does damage of the infiltrator. I'm like, holy fuck, he has to be cheating. He did damage to this piece of shit.
All the while, SW's Podesai art skill, they weren't able to convert game one into
a soccer star, think he's Skags.
But second place is a pretty stark improvement. Consistency has been something that has definitely plagued the French trio throughout the course of Major 1. And
wait, SD's not controller? Why don't I think SD was controller? Sorry, my apologies. He's mouse and keyboard then. I could have sworn he used to be controller. Maybe not. I've watched him a few times. Yeah, my bad. I thought he was controller. Never mind.
Of course, when they were playing with Akira, they actually qualify through that last chance qualifier. So,
but yeah,
99%
sure SD's not cheating.
They're not going to want to relive that stress, if you like, that lack of sleep the night before, the LCQ, the 3-game format, the uncertainty of it. So I'm sure that they'll be wanting to get it done nice.
Oh, Kiddo, the double mythic loadout again, bro. What the fuck? Oh no, it's Vanya.
It's Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. Inside the box goes Kiddo. Pixie goes down as well.
Ooh, that was almost a whiff though. Wait, Marius. Wait, Marius takes down Cringe. The 1v3 for Marius. 1v3 for Marius. Wait. Marius is putting in pain, bro. Oh shit, Marius is so fucking good. Oh shit, he's fucking crazy. Oh my god, it's him. Holy fucking shit. Oh my fucking god. Bro, he's fucking him. Holy shit. Straight 1v3 against Cringe. Not even a shit team. Oh, dude, I swear in that scenario, I'm never calling a 1v3. Like, only because it's Marius did I even mention that maybe he 1v3s this. That is absurd.
these consistent.
Bro, what a fucking goat. Oh my god.
Because the reboot now comes back into play.
Play this absolute textbook. Wait, 1v3'd without taking a single damage. Oh my god.
At the beginning of the day, this man has been on fire.
Absurd.
And he doesn't look
Good
like
shit, Marius.
any signs of slowing down, as you correctly mentioned. It's
They
all
didn't
about
hit him
now
with a
letting
single
teams sort of
bullet.
Pick up the pieces now and get the revive off, but absolutely crucial.
That's insane.
Couple of shots there from Marius, and that's what you need in the team. You need your fraggers to step up at the big moments.
And stepping up is something that
You Budgie,
Jason's team
DX,
is certainly
Eisen, Gnome,
starting to do
Soccer
in that
Star, big
first
subs,
lobby.
guys.
They know they got another team directly above where they're currently fixated on this hillside.
Was that stab to the trios who did 900 damage to stay above Surge?
Just trying to get whatever.
It's actually not that bad compared to last season.
Shaco's though in a whole world of hurt. The Surge storm damage just posing such a huge threat for this fight, and Gavix knows it. He wants to find this next elimination here on the Shaco's, but Shaco's fighting.
Man,
back.
Shaco's team is...
Gonna get knocked completely
Bro, I don't know, man. How can Queasy make Uncon Seaport look so good and everyone else makes it look so bad?
To close this one out,
I know Queasy like one of the
with
IGL
Delta
goats, but
advantage
like...
in his favor, AR, only one more shot is needed, but a full reconverge.
Oh, it was 900 last season as well. Oh, I thought it was higher last season. I thought last season was like 1100. My bad.
We've got to get a move on into the next zone.
Yeah, huge decision right there for that team. Ricky does go down though, so Shaco's manages to pick up the siphon there as well. Absolutely vital for him to stay alive. But it's
Thank you,
whether he
Yeet,
can
with the prime of
actually now
27.
make
Thank you,
it
dude. Oh, it's
inside
900
of
by
the
5th zone.
as he gets the
Oh my
knock onto
god, that's
Lucy there as well. So
insane.
it's now just up to
Bro,
Gavix.
you got to
This is
do
a
900 damage before 5th zone to be above Surge. That shows how insane these lobbies are.
Much like what we've seen in game number 1, he's just got to try and make the most of this game
Hey,
now.
me
as
for
a
the prime.
solo, as there's Belusi's loot he's going to be able to pick up. And that's really turned the tides on that entire fight. Taco, I was not expecting it to go that way. And look at that, the zone pulls back as well.
Oh, SD goes
if he
down.
can make it in, he will have the zone advantage. I just don't see it happening. Lack of whites, lack of time, I think, as well, as now the 5-tick starts to come in. He's spraying, trying to find any sort of tags, but it's too little, too late for Shaco's. He's going to go down in the storm, but a valiant effort.
Damn.
He said, if I'm going to go out, you guys are coming down with me. That is the only focus that I can.
Yo, boy, your mass pad, when can I expect to arrive in the UK? A few days, bro. I'd say like a week max, man, but usually within a few days. Especially on big streams like FNCS. If you get your order in, we always ship out the next day. So, if you guys want to cop a mouse pad, chat, now's the time.
Does build faster than you'd expect. Is Howley, Eltenzi,
Hey, Luxa. Queasy's grinning. Bro, every team that goes Seaport Uncon just makes it look so shit. And Queasy makes it look like the best PI on the map.
Towards this west side. Crossing the river. Doesn't seem like it's going to pose too much of a threat just yet, but Clopsy lurking, Sky, Scroll, eye drop as well.
Definite Queasy diff.
Based out extension from that RDO, and Sky just trying to apply whatever tags he can, trying to control the flow.
Booga made it look pretty solid. Booga made it look better when they were contested than uncon, interestingly. But I think it's because they hadn't practiced with an uncon yet, so we'll let Booga cook a bit and see what they come up with.
Just getting cracked right there. So looking good for that trio, but Scroll there, just staying open a little bit too long. Thankfully, they do.
I think Booga put all his focus into winning the spawn fight.
But it's almost that damage trade. It's like, how much are you gonna open up? How much are you gonna expose?
No, Conan.
Some damage, as their Floki does go down as well. So not the greatest situation for that trio, as we saw them looking good earlier on. It's all crumbled a little bit here as
Ooh, 6 elims.
Neuer also having a bit of a trouble right now.
We're getting keyed for Surge when we have our Surge. That's brutal. Eye drop, getting some elims. Nice. Could be the eye drop Dubsky here.
Misha can hit a massive shot right there. Can he find the final elimination? I think he can. They're doing very well.
The fact that Yasin's
Bro, cuddling Bob on. Man, the way you hold Bob on, like Bob under the arms is so cute. I'm so glad that Bob stayed in this season, man. He better be here for all the whole chapter.
So could have been
one of the best additions to the game. Cute as fuck, balanced. Everyone gets them, so it's not like it's favored to one team. Just a great addition to the game, truly. Yo, Yagi, thanks for 48, bro. Thanks for 4 years, man.
Of where the rest of the pack is at, but still, it is an uphill battle, almost quite literally. As Artskill, like Squeeze, Podesai, keeping tabs. Got a little bit of elevation to work with as is, but
yo, what's up, Mama Remarkable? How's it going?
actually controlling the high ground.
Up,
See a little bit of some
up.
excellent knocks, some damage. It's going to be absolutely crucial for this team. You can see that sort of storm surge there just flying up. Very important at all stages of the game just to keep
Hey, Casper.
progressing. And look at this.
Ooh, look at the loop, bro. Marius. Good shit, Marius. Keeping him in it. It's going to be hard to win, though, after hitting a double reboot. Oh, Tayson's keenness, too.
Important to his, seems vital to his gameplay. You're going to see him popping off in the end game, I'm sure.
Can teams score with 2 decent games in this format?
Low ground section of the map, and this is really
Let me check, actually.
Gold splashes
Let me check what top 5 was without a win last groups. Would be a great way to kind of
blocking off angles,
check that one.
trying to make their way into the zone, building in full metal to ensure that nobody is going to be.
I can't actually remember, because you got to think that the 5 teams that get wins go straight through, making qual significantly lower than a normal format like this, you know. Here we go. Okay, so in Group 1 last season, top 10 without the win was 170. So it needs to be 2 really good games.
Continuing to commit so much hard material towards that high ground. It's going to be very
So Group 1 was 170, Group 2 was 175, and then Group 3 was 190. So depends on the group. Let's say around 180 is what you need. So that's very hard to get in 2 games.
And a squeeze, but hard skill just wants to apply pressure. The moment you have control of the high
Yo,
ground,
thank you,
and
Heg.
such a
Appreciate the prime,
commanding
man.
presence
You
here as
encrypted,
well.
Casper.
It's just about getting as much damage off as possible. Maybe dropping for a refresh or 2, but on the low ground, Jason, Chicho, they're just gonna carve their way straight through, continuing to try and stay on that front side low, but still making sure to look back. They know that they've got plenty of company surrounding them. I like this.
Yeah, Howley, Danny Puzo, mid-ground. I think they were looking for a refresh right there. And
Good spot here for Howley. Oh, come on. I want to see Marius win this game so bad, bro. That 1v3 clutch, come on. That's got to be a win. Tayson gets a refresh, though. Nice rotate from Pixie.
Pixie doesn't have the knee capper, so he's going to have to move in a slightly different way.
Oh, no. Sky crashed. Wait. Oh, he's back. W. Hell yeah, bro. I was going to be so sad if he actually crashed then.
We're really, really confident. I think these guys have to be confident when it comes to this low ground section because we know how well they can play.
Put aside art skill, I squeeze there. Encountering a couple of natural terrain.
Might have to plug the mouse in or something, bro. That was definitely a pause, though. He 100%. No, Pixie goes down.
Be reminded that there is a team currently over.
Come on, Marius. Clutch up again, son. Come on.
Do it again with Vanya right next to him. Scroll, Sky.
Art skill, Podesai next Sweezy on the high ground again, though. Looking good. Could be a Frenchie height win. Ooh. Ooh, go, Marius. Another one, bro.
And Marius, those are the much needed resources that he needed to find. He needs as much siphon mats as possible just to continue to put some builds over his head. A little bit of protection screening from the damage that's being applied everywhere else.
Now Chicho left us a solo. We saw them looking so good earlier on. Not going to
Damn,
be so
Tayson's team goes down again.
For that trio, so they won't be too disappointed with it. As I drop now and scroll down to a duo. We saw Sky and Scroll doing it in game number 1.
All right, can I drop and Scroll do it?
As well.
But what do you want builds, though? We've actually got decent mats here.
Just a few extra placements. They're going to be vying for that victory, of course.
I don't want to see high grounds loadout. There we go. Ooh, running out of mats. Running low on mats. And I don't know if we have the heal off. It looks like Podesai dropped a heal grenade to get that refresh in Storm. We're using splashes, so I don't think we're ready for heal off. We've got no ammo. This could be bad. Wait, can Vanya win this? No. The duo clutch? Nah, surely not.
What they've been hoping for initially, and with Marius Vanya directly underneath them, that could be a huge issue to deal with. Not to mention,
As long as low ground doesn't win, I've got the other 3 teams on my top 10.
It's caught win. Fresh team directly underneath where they sit, but so low on the material count, just trying to break through.
Oh, I drop versus Marius could be crazy here. They're both duos.
Caught notice of the fact that it's Marius and Vanya above him, but I
nice. No. No. All right. 3v3, the Frenchies versus Stormy, right? Oh, wait. Arskill's in the box. Wait, they have no AR ammo either. Nice pump by Arskill. What the fuck? Oh, the baseball bat. Oh, it's on. Yup. 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 No, he missed because of the elevation difference. 2v1. Podesai could win this. Podesai could win this. Podesai doesn't win this. Stormy Right is making grands in Chapter 6, bro. Good shit.
Victory Royale
15 kill win. Good shit. I didn't have them picked to do it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think Stormy Rat still had it in him. That's crazy. Good shit, Stormy Rat. Let me check the prediction real quick because I think it must be Podesite for my prediction, right? Yeah, Podesite came second. Damn, I almost had the 2 for 2. Alright, run the prediction again. Alright, chat, we'll make this one. Let's make it Stormy. S-T-O-R-M-Y, Stormy. Nice and easy. If you guys want to win some V-Bucks, type the word Stormy in chat. Remember, chat, this isn't like a raffle system, so typing it in more than once doesn't do anything. Once you type it in once, you've got the same chance of winning as everyone else. So just type it in once, and you're chilling. Just make sure Twitch Whispers on and keep an eye on your Twitch DMs. Meredith will DM you the code if you win.
No, absolutely.
Thank you. Hi, guy. Tom. Hey, thanks, guys.
Again, getting himself into a major finals.
W Stormy Rat, bro.
A veteran of the CIS Fortnite scene, and he's picked up 2 young players from that region, and
that's actually huge from Stormy. Good shit.
With a lot of elims as well. It's not like they've just like snuck on by, right? Like they were.
Stormy's definitely a chapter 2 pro. I don't know if he's a chapter 1 pro, but crazy longevity.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised and impressed. I thought on the high ground they had it all controlled.
They ran out of AR ammo. They just went up too early. It looks like. Or they didn't get a refresh.
I mean, I think they made what 5 final set lobbies as a whole trio combined, but they hadn't won a single game in any of them, and now coming off so strong with not only a victory.
That's a crazy pop off then.
Eliminations alongside that. I mean, Levin, they cleaned up.
Winning when it matters.
Really well. Really tough game. I think for them now it's about okay, just seeing the final moments there with Art Skill just trying to come in with a kneecapper still just looks ridiculous every single time. But
did he play World Cup? I didn't know he made World Cup. All right, 10 more seconds, chat. We'll call the Stormy giveaway. Thank you, guys.
It just feels like everyone was kind of like, well, not everyone, obviously, but a few of the players that we saw like dropping into their clutches, and the guys were just like, oh, yeah, you remember me. Remember me.
Hey, Orkex to the Prime.
I was here for you. And we are here for you guys as well. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing everything that went down in Game 2.
I'll call it there. Thank you, guys. W. Good game, bro. Good game. All right, check leaderboard. What do we got here? Right, after Game 2. So we've had Stormy Rat and Huddy win Game 1 and 2. Then our top 5 who haven't got a win is iDrop, Artskill, Vanya, Harist, and Giras. That is a stacked top 5. That's a very stacked top 5. Let me see. Nice. We got a little win reaction here from Stormy. Let's see it. Let's get a little win reaction cooking.
Раз, 2, 3. 70.
Зону, вместе! Поилки!
2 second place is heartbreaking. Yeah, but one more good game and their quals throw off consistency, so.
Давай.
Топ-4.
Подо мной. Вместе. 0 билдов.
Помад. Нету.
I'm guessing this is going to be very loud, so I'm like,
Чиль.
I'm ready, chat. Don't worry, I'm ready.
Копается в здании. Перелодуюсь.
The microphone picking up his keyboard has me very concerned for how he's balanced his microphone gain here.
Сотка! Найс, лучший, блядь! Сотка! Убил! Вместе, фокус. В боксе?
That was such a good pump shot, bro. That pump shot was nice.
Найс. Битый? Найс! Лучший! Вместе.
3 по-белому.
Лучшие, блядь! Лучшие игроки! Лучшие, блядь! Лучшие, блядь!
We're just repeating. We're just saying the same thing. We're stuck on repeat. So good. Yeah, Stormy Rat's been around for a minute, bro. Is that Russian? So Stormy Rat's Ukrainian, I believe, right? Stormy Rat was the one who literally was like fleeing Ukraine, right? It was pretty fucking nuts when everything was going down, like when the war first started. I think it was Stormy Rat who was literally like fleeing Ukraine, like during tournaments. Yeah. Thank you, Vision, Cambos, Iro, Ping, Quacky, Orkex. Hi, guy. Thanks for subs, guys. Appreciate y'all. That was Malabuka? No. Malabuka was having to get his visa. He had to get his residency in Serbia so he could still compete and make money, but Malabuka's Russian, so he wasn't being invaded. bombs were going off in his city when he got second with Kiriachi. That's so fucked, bro. Like, that's just insane. Thanks for vibing out, me chat. Appreciate it, especially with my voice being a little bit fucked. Thank you. Appreciate all the kind words as well. I'll be back to full fighting force for Group 2 onwards, I promise.
Stormy Ray, Arco, and Koji booked their place in the Major 2 Grand Finals. But who did they beat to get there? Well, a number of
skill, unfortunately.
very strongly performing trios.
Let's take time. Let's get my breakfast real quick.
Carter, we've got to talk about Podosai, and I nearly said Akira, but actually they swapped Akira for skill this season and X Squeeze, because this is a trio that so far have managed to make it to both end games, but falling short slightly, even though they got the high ground for free.
This is a trio that's been in EU for a long time now, experienced veterans, and even throughout this season, they've been making a lot of these finals. 21 finals they've made throughout the season, but as a trio, they made 5. The issue is, Levin, they can't convert these finals into victory royales. They haven't got a single victory royale as a trio in these set lobby finals, and they were so close once again now in groups, but they were unable to finish it off.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like when you get 2 second places in these lobbies, like you're doing good. Like if we look at the leaderboard now, they're sitting there in 4th or 2nd in consistency. They're well on their way to qualifying. But at the same time, Frankie, 2 second places does feel like a bit of a slap in the face. It's a bit, it must sting a little bit knowing that you were so excruciatingly close to like actually just getting yourself out of the lobby, and you did it twice in a row.
I know what it is, guys. Nikov is doing a watch party right now, and Podosai, being of the gentle mates, Nikov needs to do the full 5 games. And so what's going to happen is Podosai is going to win the 5th victory royale. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, that's what I'm kicking out.
Yeah.
Let's head over to Denmark, though, boys, because I know there's a lot of Danish fans watching in the audience. Shout out Nicholas and Oliver. I haven't forgotten you boys from Global 2023. Sky, Scroll, and iDrop. Another stellar game for them, Levin.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a bit of a different flavor. The commentators mentioned it, right? There was a point there at the end where it was sort of iDrop and Scroll, I believe, or iDrop and Sky. I can't remember which one of the Danish boys was up with iDrop. But, you know, it was nice to see them as a trio. Not as, you know, high-flying there in terms of as fraggy as they were in that first game, which is a bit ironic, right? When you go from a duo, they have all the confidence in the world. When you're a trio, maybe playing it a bit safer. But another really good, consistent game from these boys to Carter.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, in the set lobby finals throughout the season, they made top 10 40% of their games, so they're clearly doing a good job of getting to these late games. Even if they lose one of their teammates, whether it be iDrop, Sky, Scroll, whoever, they're able to do what they need to get a top placement in these matches.
Now, we've got to talk about one man who didn't necessarily put up all the numbers in the first game, but just pulled off one of my favorite plays of the night so far. We're just 2 games in, boys, and we're seeing Marius 1-3-3.
Bro, Marius is crazy. That clutch was so good.
Loadout on the map at that point.
Yeah, well, look, when we, watched the replay package of Marius in after game 1, I did say he got set up a bit. This time, not at all. This is one of the best clips we will see all weekend in Fortnite. 1v3 in
without taking a single hit of damage. I think really needs to be focused on here.
Volko
without taking any
mental.
damage.
Like, he just shouldn't be doing this. When people are talking about Marius as being one of the best fraggers, one of the best players, this is why.
Oh yeah. I mean, it shows how much of an impact a fragger of his caliber can have. You should have seen our reaction when he hit that 1v3. I jumped out of my chair. I wasn't even sitting down anymore watching him play it out. And I mean, rightfully so. Number 5 on the leaderboard, or, number 3, depending on how you look at it. They're in good range for qualifying.
No,
Johnny,
honestly, like,
yeah.
When you see people, take on 1v3s like that, a lot of the time you see them like isolate the 1v1s, and it's like he got the first one, and then it's like 2 of them in a box, and he's like, yeah, I fancy that. I'll a little window edit, take you down. It was just ruthless, clean. I want to see more of that today.
Do you think, just quickly, if Marius hadn't come along and spoiled the days of Cringe, Volko, and Kadura, do you think that they could have made it a lot further towards the end game? Because not only did they take the train, they also made it to the black market as well, to Carter.
Yeah,
oh, nice, Alchemy. Appreciate you guys all couple of the mouse pads. Thank you, chat.
They got the mythic Sentinel Pump Shotgun. I mean, Marius being able to hit 200s, that's a dangerous combination. So it definitely helped in that sense of getting to the end game. But I also saw moments where they were kind of running a bit low on shield. Maybe they used a lot during those engagements. So they
top 10 on the leaderboard go through at the end. So 5 wins and top 5 they don't get a win.
They did what they had to.
Well, why don't we have a look at Tayson as well? I feel like we've got to do Tayson watch. Okay, we can't have an FNCS where Tayson is in the lobby where we're not seeing the audacity, gone on the gumption of this man, Levin.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm just, you know, I used to always get accused of being like the original Tayson Glazer on EU, you know, so I'm never going to complain when Tayson's doing well. It's good to see these guys in another end game. Again, like when you just look at this lobby, you look at the quality of these three and the way they play, they're going to be consistent in these games. Whether or not they can actually get a win, I think that's really like the biggest sign in terms of if we're trying to extrapolate to maybe the major finals. Like if these guys win a game, that tells me a lot about how they're doing this season.
I have a feeling that in one of the last 3 games, they might they might pick up the victory royale. We've got to head, though, right now to Mini, Miner, and Taco because we're ready with Game 3.
Moment that we've all been waiting for. Basically the halfway point as far as Group 1 is concerned here, Mini. 5 games to work with overall, and a couple of teams that maybe might have caught the audience by surprise to see them book their tickets to that Major 2 finals, but other teams still looking to try and collect on that pathway. It's going to be an exciting moment, but Game 3 ready to go.
Game number 3, the midway point of the day, and this is really where questions start to be asked. What do we do if we're a team that's lower on down? Do we start to play a little bit more aggressive? Do we start to go for some victory royales potentially? Or do we just try and play out as many games as we can as far as possible? Risks are what's going to be mentioned a lot now, I'm sure, in the next few games. What risks do you take? What risk can you afford to take? And what's going to pay off, Taco? I think that's really what's going to be crucial for these teams as we now get to see how things play out for the rest of the day. I think in terms of consistency, it's not been too surprising in terms of the names that we see up the top. A lot of our top teams are doing very well, but in terms of the wins, we've definitely seen some smaller teams, you could say, but definitely by no means smaller in talent.
Ooh. Not the start you'd be hoping for, though, Yasin.
Man, so you got to just fully 50-50 this building at Mars Meadows. Oh, bit of a misplay. Oh, and then a miss. Oh, no.
Also going to find themselves knocked.
Wait.
Still, one
1v2
more to connect. Yasin not going to be able to find it, though.
Not getting the finish there was bad because now they can pressure the res. Yeah, he really needs to hit that finishing shot there. That's over.
Ivan holding the floors above them, not going to allow this
Damn.
to fruition just yet. And sure enough, that's a clean 3 for 3 here. Ivan, Aryan, and Cade switching things up a little bit with that direct contest at Mass Meadows. Just trying to make sure that they can close things out as quickly as possible. They don't want to play the passive game any longer.
Damn, Firebro closing it out quick.
Kind of fight at the bank in the last game and just didn't go very well for them, so they just try to get things done a little bit earlier on. But in terms of
what the fuck?
We'll just forget about guns for a bit, I guess. We'll just go for pickaxes and Kensig, Chucks.
Bro, making pickaxes deal 20 damage was such a big change.
Very different way of going about an off-spawn fight, and it worked out in their favor. But this is again a completely different sort of landscape to what we saw last time. We saw a very passive.
Ooh, stacking the minis on the roof. We gonna be doing some trading, baby.
Game number 2 was a little
I mean,
bit
we're gonna be dealing some damage, but taking some damage in return.
Baby, you have to expect some big moments of revenge coming through. Setting up for game 4. All depends, though.
Yeah, pickaxe used to do 10 damage, not 20. So it was like really hard to pickaxe people.
A little bit settled here. With those armored vans now spawning a little bit earlier on, but it does seem as though the pace, Mini, is 100% really starting
to move with the Prime
here. So many of our teams just kind of recognizing the fact that they've got to get into the action faster if they want to set themselves up for that mid and late game. And the action still
Rezoy getting aggressive. Using that German ping, baby.
Up against Cole, but Prime gonna be able to create just enough of a gap here. So Rezoy instead gonna shift his direction. Prime still trying to scurry outwards, but and Kidoy looking to cut off the angle. Still no knocks just yet.
No knocks yet, but some significant damage output. Rezoy and Kido, we've seen these guys really.
What is going on? Hope none of these guys are on controller.
20 other players, but no, it's a little bit of overextension. You have to imagine there for Ankido, who does fall. Rezoy potentially about to join him. He does.
What a scrappy fight, man.
To Khan.
Oh, and we're getting thirded too. What the? Oh, I dropped Sky Scroll coming in.
disengage here, but look who it is lurking, as we know they do. It's iDrop, Sky, and Scroll. Of all the teams in the lobby,
they definitely want a piece of this.
Barreling down towards your box fight after you finish taking out 2. This has got to be at the bottom of your list in terms of teams.
This is one of the benefits, though, of iDrop, Sky, and Scroll having that shiny shafts uncontested. The moment that they're able to
1,085 Sentinel pump damage.
Shots in the surrounding area, it's an easy third-party pressure in, and Scroll, Sky, iDrop, they've done an excellent job at just cutting off the escape routes currently. Putrix Kolb's only direction
that could be kind of cool, Ackless.
Getting out at this point is to choose to play along that bank of the waterway, but with iDrop having such a strong overhead view on that hillside, it's going to be difficult for Putrix's team to actually get out.
A lot less than one would think.
Just sort of sat there hoping that they didn't actually notice that they were still in there.
You guys were expecting more than 1,000 damage in 2 games of set lobbies?
It was really the catalyst for this fight.
That's 5 200 pumps in 2 games.
And survive the wrath of iDrop, Sky, and Scroll as well. So big major W's for that team of Spawn, but not a major W for a team that's going up against Cringe, Kiduo, and Volko.
You gotta remember how good these players are, chat.
Like, they can fight, how they've been able to do. They haven't quite necessarily shown it, particularly in that last game, getting 1v3 by Marius.
Xylo with the prime
off because it is Marius.
Knock bodies also count. That is true. Finishing knock bodies, that is true.
Entire area here, they've said, right, we are taking control of Lone Wolf.
They're just good kids, Steph, yeah.
I'm going to try and scrap loot here, try and find
I think double 15-year-old duo making globals was a nice storyline. Both seem like really nice guys too, and also Scroll's keybinds just being the shittiest binds ever is always really fun too.
Whether or not they know that it's Cringe's trio is irrelevant. This fights continue to just take place, and it's these outskirts we knew would be kind of the turf that Putrix would have to play through. Big elimination though onto Khan. Still having to deal with
this fight is still going? Are they fighting? What the hell is going on?
A little bit stuffed.
Wait, what are we doing?
The edge of this cliff and another team, but Enkidoi, Rizoi, they are not healthy, and Enkidoi, he's going to find himself getting knocked, eliminated. Now exclusively down to Rizoi, and he's just trying to stay as quiet as
47 people in this lobby have never made grands. This is a super inexperienced lobby. What the fuck? Okay, this might be the easiest group. Surely group 3 has more than that.
A deja vu moment here. We just saw this fight happening, and it went the exact same way. Now iDrop, Sky, and Scroll do seem like they are going to be closing in, being a little bit more aggressive. Scroll hops in towards Cole's area, but it does look as though he's been tagged from behind. Really great tag to sort of stop and slow down.
So half of them basically didn't make last groups, and half of them have never made a grand. Like, that's
the other team are putting up a good fight. We saw them doing incredibly well.
Oh, Sky getting PC.
Oh, doesn't get the second, but
well done, boys. That's great, Surge.
iDrop is there to clutch up. Really nicely played from
being conned off spawn not better because of Surge. No.
What I find most
the damage you get off spawn is nowhere near worth the amount of damage you can get by getting better loot and getting in position quicker.
So that trio might have to get rebooted yet again. And yet
depends how good Assault Rifles are, man. Chapter 5 Season 1, you could argue that. A season that had the sniper rifles. It depends on the meta, but almost never no. Players are too good now, man. Even the worst player in a Grands lobby is still going to cause you a lot of troubles off spawn, or it's never worth being conned.
The first couple of lobbies here today, and it doesn't seem as though they have any intention
outside of like a Diego plays edgy off spawn where they literally won off spawn 12 out of 12 instantly. It's just not worth it.
They were leading the leaderboard as well. They had, I believe, 17 eliminations heading into this third lobby, so they're definitely setting themselves up nicely as far as qualifying through consistency if all else fails. But
unless you're Queasy, nah. Every time Queasy's been conned, he's 100% preferred if he was unconned, if you asked him.
Caliber of lobby.
Even with how often Queasy wins and how good he does, he still would tell you he'd do better if he was unconned.
It doesn't really matter too much for them. They're setting themselves up perfectly for however this day is going to go. But for Podesai, Xwee's Art Skill, this is a team that are playing incredibly well so far. I mean, what, 2 back-to-back seconds?
Because most teams in a Grands lobby, once they start losing, will just start playing to grief. They won't even take proper fights. They'll just box out, steal loot, and just play to make you lose out of spite. Very rare to have a team just keep dropping on you and keep 50-50.
Placements and they'll be just fine.
I like Frankie's Gentle Mates content farm direction. Podesai, he's just putting on a show for the people.
Yep. W Frenchie, he's doing it for the content.
Camaraderie spirit. He's trying to make sure that Nikov gets an excellent showing
of
what exactly the Aura is going to be capable of. with a player leading inside of the first group, but eyes back on iDrop, Sky, and Scrolls. They continue to work their way up to a little bit of elevation here. With 3 eliminations, Mini, you have to expect that they can shift their focus now, less about the surge damage and more so on just setting up for the late game.
Elim's damage dealt and reboots.
iDrop has got all of that experience.
4 reboots.
iDrop's 20 now, which is basically, you know, pensioner in terms of Fortnite
Pensioner.
competitive.
Pensioner.
I saw his post on Twitter on X.
Why am I
the other day,
taking
and he said
offense
he
to
made
that?
his first earnings 6 years ago, which is
Okay, that's a pensioner. You're old as fuck.
What's
Okay,
I find
fair.
even
That's
more
old
funny
as
about
fuck.
That is 6 years ago, Sky and Scroll were 9 years old. So just shows how consistent iDrop has
I don't like
been
this stats. We need to
at
stop
that
talking about
entire
this.
time, because of course Sky and Scroll now 15 years old. They've just been able to come through and perform at that level. iDrop's been doing it for so long.
I don't
now,
like this.
and it's nice to see some of the new blood coming in and really showing what they can do as well.
Hard not to be excited for what
Let's
might
stop talking about this.
lay in store for that team should they find themselves qualifying yet again for the Major 2 finals. Pixie, Marius, and Vanya, though,
Sup, Coombs?
continuing to kind of hover.
Can't compete
around
till
this
13? Correct. You have to wait till
outskirts
13 to
territory
compete, yeah.
game. It looks as if they want to just go for some dead side rotations, but might even be able to run into a couple of teams that were hoping to just stick around, maybe go for some.
Acting like
early
iDrop is
reboots.
90
We
years
have seen a
old. I
lot
know,
of
but
teams
like,
fall
dude,
early on in this
he,
lobby.
the first time he earned, his trio mates were 9
it's
years
just
old. Like,
showing what he does
That's
there with that
fucked.
quick stat, just being able to do so much damage whilst not taking much damage himself.
And
I think
Shark
that's gonna
was
be
7.
So vital. And it is so vital in a game
oh
like
man,
Fortnite
what
where
happened,
you
bro?
have
The young bloods, they're
damage
taking
ratio
over,
being so
bro.
vital with the
Wrap it
conservation
up.
of heals and being able to provide that damage output for your team. He's almost a dream teammate, a dream fragger in that regard as well, particularly when he's on the form that he is. And I remember it was last chapter, it was around this stage of the chapter that he was really starting to pop off. It was sort of season 2, and everyone on TikTok was
I
just
think
saying
iDrop's
this guy is
IGLing.
the
Actually, I don't think
next
iDrop is
great thing.
IGLing. I don't know. I think it
As
might
Logan
still be
sort of correctly
Sky. I think they
mentioned,
might
didn't quite
co-IGL a bit.
necessarily have that highs or fit in maybe to the expectations that a lot of people
I think the
had, but
craziest thing is I think
now he's
iDrop's
starting
only
to have
like
a little bit
19. I think he earned when he was like 13.
potentially
iDrop was
starting
super
to come into
young.
his own and playing with that freedom that we know he
think he's
can
shifty with the
play,
prime.
light, because when you do have all those eyes on you, it can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah,
just
I
to
don't think
sort of
iDrop's the IGL. iDrop's
maintain
never
that level of
IGL, so
performance, 'cause there's always that
unless he
thought
started
back
to
in your mind, like,
transition
oh, there's
into
so
it
many
later
more
in his
people
career.
watching me now, but he's really stepping up to the plate.
And another team that we want to see continue to try to step up.
iDrop's 20 now. Okay, so you earn at 14. Okay.
Snazy and Icy. They're operating as a duo currently, trying to make their way back towards a reboot ban. Surely want to bring Floki back into the action. But this is a pretty tough position to be in here, Mini, because
He did it Globals, Melon, yeah.
You know that there's
Sky
gonna be some teams that are trying to play
IGL'd him
in
and
that
Scroll
dead-sided
at Globals
position,
at 15.
or coming in later.
And they were like top 5 after day 1.
And Snazy scouting out Atmo
No, iDrop bodies
directly
is different to
underneath.
iDrop.
He's going to try to push them back, but these storm exchanges take entirely too long sometimes, and that's something that has kind of plagued Kana and Kido and Rizoi all day today.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing yet another fight, including these guys. This is going to be the 3rd time we've seen them fight. Let's see if they can have a little bit more success, get on the front foot nice and early, which we haven't seen from them so far. They haven't been able to get
Man,
that
this team
initial
loves
shot, that
fighting.
initial knock
Jeez.
onto the opponents, which is what
There
they
we
do
go.
now. There goes Etsy down to Khan. Telio there does actually manage to find a trade, so Telio doing a fantastic job. And Kido now left a solo clutch as Khan and Rizoi do go down. Now comes down to that 1v1 situation.
Come on, you can't lose then, Kidio. Come on.
We saw him doing it earlier on.
Can't lose then, Kidio. We can't lose
Making
this.
sure to make up for that mistake, of course, that he made. Gets
Getting
the piece,
PC.
gets the edit.
Getting
It's
PC.
the shot, but it's a trade, and both players now have to reconsider. Storm keeps ticking away at their damage, but Tilio right there does have the chug jug, so you have to fancy him in this situation. Zankido gets the finish, so he might get the siphon for that, which he does. Tilio tries to get
Bro,
his
sketchy
way up.
1v1.
Can't find
Jeez,
any
sketchy
sort of shot,
1v1.
and now it's completely flipped as Zankido has the health advantage. Not so long anymore. Down to that 50 HP as this fight just keeps dragging on, Take.
Everything has already been expended, though. At this point,
What's up, trademark?
this is a net
Did
negative
you come in?
for both of these solos involved. Khan,
Wait, did you
Rizoi,
resub today?
having already been eliminated. They were knocked, but Nkude
What
has
is this
just
fight?
not been able
And
to
we're getting
find
third
that
party. Doesn't matter. We all
closing
lose
shot.
now.
Continues
And we
to
all
get
lose.
Pushed back, and Telio reminding Ankidoi this is going to be a total freebie,
Oh.
but it doesn't even
Wow.
matter because the
Homie
third
got
party
1
is
second.
coming
1
into
second to be
play.
like, I want.
It's
Oh, I'm
just
fucking dead.
entirely too long for those two teams to get tangled
Feels
up
bad,
with
bro.
each
Feels
other.
bad.
And it's no surprise that Uruguay's trio
You,
would choose
Sandro?
to pounce, but not necessarily a whole
Oh my
lot
god,
left
it's
after
Uruguay.
the
We're
fact.
carrying on the legacy.
More so just a little bit of surge damage to work with.
Yeah, really frustrating for that trio who have just been sort of fighting a lot throughout that game.
Remember, chat,
As,
yesterday
we
is
see
history.
Uruguay, not Chappies,
Tomorrow
not to be confused
is a
with
mystery.
Chappies, Blazer,
But today
Lecky
is a
and,
gift. That's why it's
Slowly,
called the
so
present.
Slowly. So if anyone is confused, don't worry.
Master Uruguay.
It is not Chappies, but a really nice, easy elimination for those guys. To
I was
roll
raised by
through and
Master
grab.
Uruguay.
I think those sort of eliminations are so crucial. If you can just find them, and the better teams will be able to know when to push on in, when to.
Nah, it's not Chappies, chat.
little bit more
It's a different
aggressive in
Uruguay.
those
He's carrying on the
We
legacy.
spoke about it earlier. Look at that quick
Weeb?
stat
I'm not a
sheet. You have
weeb.
damage
Kung Fu
ratio
Panda's not anime. Like, it is,
2.34,
but it's not.
the
Come
best
on.
in the lobby.
I'm not a
It's
fucking
just
weeb
what
for
he
liking
does.
Kung Fu Panda.
He's such a good and
Yo, if you don't fuck with Poe, I don't
valuable
fuck with you.
asset
That's all
when
I'm
it
saying.
comes to storm surge damage, because we spoke about it earlier, how important it is to not only do the damage but also take less, so that you're using less heals. And you can see that's why he's still got that full chug, 6 big pots. They've got everything they could possibly need.
Goonie with the
It's a
prime?
key element to their success.
They're also just continuing to cut a path.
No, we're getting damage ratios on broadcast now. Yes, if you guys don't know, Kinch now runs the stats for the broadcast. So we've got Kinch maxing literally as a feature of the main broadcast. Like, it's over, bro. The Kinch farm is in full effect.
If not all three along the way for their next rotate. Frenet, Giddus, and Dinas, though, just holding things down from the skies above. They're going to have to get a move on soon, but they're definitely having the full intention of just getting as much damage as possible. Frenek with some really nice beams here, Mini. It's almost sure to put a stop to any of those teams that were looking to try and rotate in.
Yeah, and these are the situations now for teams where they have to really start to think, where are we?
This really does put into perspective how hard it is to rotate in these lobbies. Like,
be a little more aggressive, or are we a team that can sort of rely
you
on these
fabled the
surge
T1.
bases? Dinas, Giras, and Franek, they are a team that can rely on these surge bases. They're a team that can rely on being a little bit less aggressive. 7th place overall, of course, 5th on consistency so far.
oh, in Taco's defense, most of us pronounce half these names wrong. We're just getting as close as we can get. Like, half of them are literally like sounds we don't make in the English language.
Kiduo, Cringe, and Volko, a team that...
Don't even get me started on the fucking Dutch pros,
I
bro.
want to see more from these guys. I think we spoke about it earlier on in the day.
I think it's physically impossible for native
Carl
English
was mentioning
speakers to
how
say Dutch
strong
names properly.
Their loot is when it comes out of that train, and yet to really see it put to good use. But you never know what can happen when it comes to players like Kiduo.
Yeah, some of these...
Murray and Lenny, bro.
loadouts,
Fucking
though,
Murray
a
and
little bit
Lenny.
more forged from desperation than anything else. Sharif just trying
It's a good time, bro. It's a good time.
actually break through the floors here, create an opening for maybe Finn or Maldives to find a nice connection shot in. Tag team combination here. That's going to be one knock. But
What is
Sharif
going on
goes down
here? We are
return.
getting in.
New instead going to be the next one to fall. Goodbye.
Thinking Jelly's in Tier 5?
Allen and New here, but Finn knows he's not out of it just yet. Another team
Hey, good refresh. We needed that. We needed that.
Pressure here, but
How you feeling? I'm feeling alright, man. I just can't use my voice much. As soon as I start, like, putting any emphasis in my voice, it just dies.
First peeked into what was going on.
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff right there. You can just see them all get together as
Think you
quickly
fitted with the
as
prime?
they did. You can see that first knock. You can see a little bit of potential for
Looking forward to the day off
problems. They're all
tomorrow,
just
though.
playing so close to one another, hip to hip. And when you play like that against a trio that do have a player down, it becomes so difficult to contend against. As now Brownie,
Come on, Brownie.
unfortunately for him,
You got
he
this.
is
You win these.
down to a
1v3.
solo, so for
Close.
Cringe, Volko, and Kiduo, they're going to be able to roll on through.
Oh,
and
this
take
might be the
him
Kiduo
out.
win. This might be the Kiduo
Nicely
win.
done from them, and they do get the zone pull back as well. So
Thank you, Vader. Thank you,
that's gonna be a
Ramirez.
really nice position for them just to
Almost
sort of
200
sit there.
subs
They're gonna
today,
have so
chat.
many
Appreciate
extra
you.
materials now from those eliminations. You can see all of the loot here. And what they can just do, they can just build a massive base. They can go up onto that hill and come on back down to replenish their materials. So going to be a perfect position for an elimination.
Next fishing stream probably won't be till
Yeah,
next
for
week, man.
a lot of our teams here
Not
today,
too much
height
time this
hasn't
week, so I'm not feeling
necessarily
100%.
been the full guarantee as far as converting into
Wait,
a
was it
victory
Brandy?
royale. Many we've definitely seen a
Oh, it
handful of
was.
our
Thank
height
you, Brandy.
teams
Appreciate the
that were
40, bro.
looking to
Sorry,
try and
homie.
Control the skies,
Sandro.
encounter their fair slew of issues, but Shaco's, Plazi, Firos.
Ooh, this could be the
they
Shaco
might
game
be
I was
able
predicting.
to get ahead, one step ahead.
They're not very high on consistency, though. They need a win
Scaling
pretty
that piece
soon.
of the mountainside. They could catch some other teams off guard pretty easily.
Already can. It's going to be a difficult
Ooh,
rotate for
Floki
them,
is
though,
not
as it's
looking
gonna be
healthy.
For Floki, Ice, and Snazy. They do have the whites and, of course, the gold splashes to increase that
iDrop gets
running
another
speed.
kill. That's big. But Sky goes down to
In terms
Chicho.
of loot,
What's
in
going
terms
on
of
there?
Materials is looking a little bit dire. Of course, when the zone
That
does
could be
start
really
to
bad.
close and does close entirely, I should say, it will go to a 5-tick as well. So all of these players just do have to make their way in. That has to be the main priority now. It's just next door to them. It's just all chaos breaking loose right now as Podesai goes down. X-Squeeze and Artskill have to try and clutch up as he does with picking up Nemo. This is a trio that have been so consistent today, Taco. Is it going to come crumbling down? But look at the zone again. They've managed to get a pole back. So this could be a position for them where they just sort of sit and tank the storm. That 5-tick is going to be really dangerous for them. But they should hopefully have a little bit more success there.
Oh, getting aggressive, bro.
Just caught a glimpse of what was going on though with iDrop, Sky and Scroll's team, and again, not in a position where they're able to actually maneuver.
Wow, they're the
this late game
first
as
team
a
to
full
ever get
trio.
back-to-back seconds
They've
in
had
grooves.
moderate success
Not a
in the
stat
dual
line you
pairings for
want
sure,
attached to
Mini,
you.
But obviously, teams would prefer to remain fully intact here. Sweet art skill, Podesai. Seems like they were just caught a little bit off guard with the way the lobby collapsed around them. Podesai, I think maybe have been trying to get some attempts towards fishing. This team was a little bit squeezed as far as their resources are concerned, and Berg just continuing to try and apply pressure. They're willing to tank up a little bit of the storm. They know the zone's pulling right back
Dizzy with the
over
front
them.
of a 3. At least that means they don't need a crazy
Still,
game here.
Teams up above in these elevated positions just putting enough pressure to threaten.
Nah, they're not
others
caught on
like
consistency
Scroll,
yet.
Like iDrop. And
You need about 180 points to get through on consistency.
Into that secondary height, but there's just two separate layers that he has to actually.
So no one's
cut
safe yet
through,
on
And it
consistency.
might be better to just sit still for the time being.
Yeah, especially since we got a little glimpse of them earlier. Of course, now just down to a duo. So what they do here is going to be so important. As we talked about earlier, they've really put themselves in a fantastic position, but you know, teams can come on barreling up to the top of the leaderboard if they do go down here. So they want to try and get as much placement out
They
of this
defo
game
will.
as
They need
possible.
30
It seems
points.
like
They
a
have
bit of a
2.5
running theme
games
with this
yet.
team where one
I've
of
seen
them
crazy
goes
things
down a
happen,
little bit
man. I
later on
wouldn't.
into the game, and
They're
then
looking
the
good
other
for
two
it, but I
have
wouldn't
to
say
sort
it's
of try
done
and
yet.
clutch up. It's a tall order now for the remaining two, but they can still make it happen as the trio that seem to be inseparable when it comes to these games. As Chicho,
Thanks,
Tayson, and
Orcs. Appreciate it,
Harissa
bro.
always seemingly together.
Peterbot
At this
is playing
stage
later
of the
today,
game.
chat, on NA. Today's Peterbot's group.
This is X-Squeeze and Artskill.
It's a solid group, actually. Arguably the best group on NA now that the group's changed.
Side of the next zone, picking up eliminations as they do as well, picking up refreshes as well, and that's going to really boost up their materials, which is really what they need. And
Ooh, the Frenchies are holding on.
Absolutely huge for X-Squeeze, and that's going to help them survive so much longer in this game. And I think they've pulled another zone, so
Zone pulls for the Frenchies.
The zone pulls right now, and they're going to be, hopefully for them, having a little bit more consistency like we've seen from them so far.
A little bit of plot armor coming into play here for the Frenchies, but from the last scenes that we got out of Chicho and Tayson.
Peterbot con now? No, the team conning Pete actually got banned.
It's more so the fact that they're
Really?
a fully intact
I think that's the team that got banned that
that's
actually
hard not
shifted
to
all
be
the groups,
excited.
sadly, but
One thing that I think a lot of people kind of
would explain why they maybe had the
not doing
confidence to
enough with
contest
the
Pete.
risk takers, but if they could just confirm some late game refreshes, which we have been seeing them find, but in duo scenarios, fully intact trio, they have so much more room to work with. Cringe, Kiruo, just try and make their way through on the low ground though. Fnatic gotta cut that off for the time being. And Cringe, he's just too low. He's got to play around these builds. Kiruo knows it, but Fnatic not willing to key outright. Wants to maintain as much of this elevated position as possible, but trailing behind the rest
Marius.
of the lobby now.
Come on, Marius.
It's gonna allow Cringe a big opportunity to get those shields back up. And in his
Very
favor.
surprised to see Marius not have one of the first two. Come on.
HP looking low. Scroll, of course, by his side. They're going to need both players' abilities now in order to try and
Ooh, they're
pick up
looking
some
like a healthy trio. I'm seeing triple
refresh,
bats.
Some sort of a heal opportunity here for iDrop. Maybe just a Siphon, just a lurking player that's maybe late to rotating. There's still a long way to go, particularly with the players that were sort of on that water. They're going to have to traverse over that. Scroll working with what he has, trying to stick together, and this is the most important thing at this point in the game. But we saw Franek, we saw Giras and Dinas. These guys actually had a very, very long rotate to make, but they've made it successfully. Not only that, they've actually been able to build back up onto height.
Ooh, Giras.
So really nice.
Got some good teams here.
It just shows how they're able to play so much calmer than the rest of the lobby because they are in that solid position at the top of the leaderboard. They've set themselves
He
up
stole
well.
him, the T1.
Excellent surge. and they can look down at the rest of the lobby right now and hopefully play height successfully.
Xweezy and Hardskill are holding on here. They could be called after this game on consistency now.
For a moment here. Great cutoff as well. Not going to allow Sharif or Maldives to have the opportunity to actually try and encroach on their current position. But the problem now stands. Ammunition running a little bit thin here for Venus. I drop.
Bro, this trio just can't stay alive as a trio, eh?
It seems like it's going to have to find a miracle tag to work with. He can't even afford another tick, but it's going to be too little too late. Can't actually break through the build. Nowhere left to run. Scroll, on the other hand.
Oh boy, if Scroll clutches this, he's him.
Going to see if he can get a tag off onto Gavix, but no connection. Not the big ones that he needs to get the outright knock. Instead, he's just going to be isolated, focused out, eliminated.
Ooh, Tayson looking healthy. Marius looking healthy. Giras looking healthy. This is going to be a good finish. Kiddo might be looking healthy too as well. This could be a really good finish here.
And Hatred wasting absolutely no time trying to collect as many tags as possible. They want another elimination. They need the Cypher materials.
Another big team that's in this end game as well as a full trio. It's
Prince just went down to Tayson.
Looking very, very strong. We've seen them going down at this stage of the game previously. They're going to need a really solid game here to keep boosting their way up in these standings. They're already looking good as Ivan and Cade down to just
Ivan solo.
Ivan, and now Ivan's got to be left as a solo. This is not ideal for him at all, and he goes back to the lobby, but a solid game from that team. It's the team on height.
Oh, Tayson's still in a good spot on low ground though. Vanya full trio, Frantic full trio, Tayson full trio. This is going to be a good finish.
There's not much anyone else can do as Frantic connects with so many shots, takes down Marius as well.
Tayson and Frantic still going at it.
Just pressing everyone down, Sacco.
Titans of the lobby, though, having been shut down.
Did we just say they're pressing them on the broadcast? We had Levin say that he's a Tayson Glazer. Now we've got people getting pressed on the broadcast. Like, come on, man, what's happening?
Is just too heavily in his favor. He is tarping as much space as possible.
Fuck, Tayson down on low. He's in the skibbity toilet right now. Like, what the fuck's next, bro? What are we gonna start? Oh shit, Vanya's riding the edge of zone here.
Seems like because Vanya not gonna be a part of the conversation any longer. He's brought down and as a solo didn't have much hope to begin with. Tayson, Chicho, Atreus, this could be their moment.
Oh, wait, Tayson with a win. Tayson with a win.
Darky gonna be the next to fall, and Tayson, he's right there. He can taste it. The victory royale is in his grasp. All he needs is these final two shots. But
3v2, surely Tayson wins this. Come on.
Not letting it happen as the full
This team's too experienced to lose this.
And Hatred, they going up onto height.
Oh, Chicho.
Chicho hits a massive
big pump from Chicho. 3v. Oh, wait. 3v1.
It's all down to one as
13 Elim win. Well done.
Victory royale. It's Chicho, Hatred, and Tayson.
It took longer than we expected.
Finals without them, and they've made it to the
It's almost like they heard Levin on the desk asking for. Can we see this team get a win? A win.
All right, chat. We'll make the V-Buck giveaway Tayson. 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 If you guys want some V-Bucks, either way, Tayson in chat. Just make sure your Twitch whispers are on and keep an eye on your Twitch whispers. Meritz will DM you. Don't trust anyone but Meritz. Thank you for 200 subs today, chat. Thank you. Appreciate y'all so much. I'm glad you guys are liking the smooth jazz voice today. My vocal cords are not liking it, but we're getting there.
It was inevitable. I think they were putting
a lot of water drinking today.
So often the ability was always there with this trio. We talked about it last season, how maybe with Trulex they were lacking in that sort of victory royale aspect of their gameplay. They weren't able to close out many victory royales. Now with the addition of Hatred, a little bit more fragging ability, this is what this trio can do, and maybe this is a sign of what to expect more from when it
predictions back up as well, chat. I'm just taking Tayson's team off.
Right now is that they will be there.
Yeah, and it couldn't have come at a better moment for them as well.
Uncon Crime? Yeah, who's going to go Crime now? Good point. Good point. There's going to be at least 2 teams to try and switch the Crime to take it. Oh.
I mean, guys, Tayson was in the lobby. It's inevitable that he's going to guarantee his spot.
All right, 10 more seconds, chat, and then we'll call it Tayson giveaway. Thank you.
Consistency or a victory royale, but he did it particularly in style this time to Carter.
Yeah, I'm glad it was through a victory royale because based on their drop spot, just how this trio performs, consistency was the more kind of, you know, we knew they were going to do good. We knew they were going to make it to every late game, but
I will call that. Thank you for chat. Appreciate you.
Royale is what I was looking for. It's what you were looking for, Levin, and I'm happy to see that they got it.
So Thursday in camp.
This is what they do. I love that game. I love that game for so many different reasons. When you look at how it plays out with the zone, pulling across the mountain, it was a tough game. You saw so many players.
I do, Slick. I do.
That's the kind of game where
I've got
you're
the
looking
like.
at all the top teams in that
You're
lobby
listening
and you're
to
going, now,
Smooth
this is where you
Jazz
separate
FM.
yourself from the rest. This is where you
Coming
show
up next, we
have
got
Fortnite
some
and Gear Us
vibes
and them
from
up
Barry
behind.
White.
And this is, you know, the type of game where they should just win.
Stay breezy out
realistically,
there.
Right? The zone is playing so much in their favor, and for Hatris, Tayson, Chicho to still come through and do it, unbelievable. On top of that, right, you know, we highlighted the fragging power, right, of Chicho and the
Kinda love it.
This is going to be, you know, the dynamic duo that helps this team rise to success.
Big fan of that. You guys want me to? You guys want me to stay? Go full Jazz broadcaster mode.
As well, and that's what I love about these three players.
I feel like I like the idea of liking jazz music, and then I listen to it, and I just get so bored. You know what I mean? Like, it fits a whole vibe, but after listening to it for like 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, now it's just the same shit.
So really excited about that.
I think Benito, the Prime 3, sound like Wolverine. Oh, I'm getting my like Hugh Jackman on. Hey, bub.
They overcome it. Not only are they constantly getting to the late game, minimizing.
I don't know any lines from Wolverine.
Because they're able
It's just
to
a lot of
play so
grunting and
consistent.
yelling.
But when you need to take those risks, when you need to capitalize on a situation like that where they didn't have the advantage on height, they were still.
No, I'm not.
able to clean it up and get the
Like I said, I
victory
want to
royale.
like
that
jazz.
alluded
Every
to
time I
it,
listen to it, I
and
get
it's what
bored
you'd
though.
love to see from a trio of this
It's
caliber.
probably just me.
Yeah, I mean, Levin, given that this is a slightly adjusted trio
You
from the one that we
defreeze
saw
the Prime?
in Major
Kratos?
#1,
Boy.
do you think that this is a trio that's already impressing you more? Actually, I shouldn't say that because we've only seen them play 3 games, but do you think the potential of this trio is one that can win a major?
We're quick to make judgments like that here, aren't we?
I know,
think
I'm
with how the
sorry.
landscape of this season has
I'm
played
sorry.
out, it's not out of the realms of possibility. I need to see much more, right? I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I need to see much more, but the landscape of EU right now means that the opening is there for teams to come through and really be big threats.
Oh.
Well, we'll be talking about those
bro.
threats after the break, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Landing brutal heat 3 at Cami. Like, bruh. I don't know, man. Like, I want to be like, oh yeah, it's content, but like, bro, like, I just want to see French teams pop off again, bro. And I feel like while they keep doing this shit, that it's never gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see some top tier French teams. It's been so long. Yo, Braze, thanks for the 10 gifted, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, homie. Damn, give us up my Braze. Please give my man a big thank you. I really appreciate that, bro. Thank you, Deep Freeze with the Prime. Benito, Time, Shadow. Thanks for the subs, chat. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'll stay live in the break today, chat. I'll try and rest my voice a little bit in that break, though. Oh, Cammy's heat too. Oh, he's doing this to like say he's gonna drop on him in grands or some shit, I guess. Okay, sorry, chat. I misinterpreted. Why did he tag Cammy then? Okay, well that's good then. I'm glad they're not making a decision just to grief themselves out of spite. That's a bit better then. Okay. Filthy, it's just !mark drop map, bro. Here you go. That's the maps for all the groups, chat. EU and NA, there's the 6 maps. It's on the ad manager. If it has the double dash, I mean an ad's currently playing. Someone said earlier that Cammy is coaching. Bruh, that would be the biggest fucking 180 of all time. If Cammy is coaching them, that'd be crazy. So it looks like that right now, Merz. Has like the double dash in the top left. I thought it was supposed to be like a timer. Is my shit like fully bugged? Wait, what's up, Moda? Wait, what'd you do, Moda? Wait. Did you do like the dumbass knock shit or something? Is that what we're talking about? Nothing, bro. Feel better. Ah, thank you, man. Appreciate it, dude. It's just my voice, man. I'm just going for the smooth jazz or Levin impersonation today, apparently. I'm glad that there's such a big break for Group 2. I'll be chilling by Group 2. Again, the rapping, not terrible. It's just the lyrics. Just the lyrics is kind of hard. Oh, Modi, yeah, you did the knock collab thing, bro. The knocking is, it's so easy to click the knock button.
Welcome back to FNCS. We've had 3 games so far of Group 1, 2 more to go. So let's talk about game number 3. Takata, our runners-up, Frenek.
Sorry, one sec. Did I look at the leaderboard? I don't think I did. I need to look at it now. But 1 second. I need to just... I feel like Levin was vibing with the music here. Look at Levin's face on the transition here.
Welcome back to FNCS. We've had 3 games so far of Group.
Why is Levin looks? He's either really enjoying it or really hating it. I can't tell.
Chicho Harris.
My man looks so serious for like 10 seconds there.
I mean, they've still proven that they're in that.
He might have been listening to producers and we can't hear them, and he was like distracted with something.
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, when you're up on high like that on that type of zone where it's like a mountain zone, like getting the limbs as the height team is always going to be tough. It's been that way.
Linus, you were just literally talking to no one. You were spamming about bolts and Poyo, and it was just annoying, bro.
Towards the end, they couldn't sort of like put themselves in a position to play out.
You had like an 8-message conversation with yourself.
I believe actually one of them went down.
Sorry, man, it's just
in the back of
not the
zone
vibes.
as well. It might have been Frantic or Dinner. So not the cleanest, but like you mentioned, Takata, this is a team that has won a lot of games.
Turned on the stream on the TV. Mom said there's 14,000 people watching him watch Fortnite. Excuse me, Brodio's mum. I also have YouTube. It's currently 17,000. But yes, I'm as confused as you are. Don't worry.
In a sneaky way, they've won.
Hope you have a good day. It's a weird world.
Hey, name one of the games they won this season. Like,
all right, we got Haris 1-1. We have Stormyrat and Dexy winning one. Then we have Artskill, iDrop, Dynus, Vanya, and Ricky. Again, in case you guys know the format, super simple. Top 5 who don't get a win go through to grands, and the 5 wins go through to grands. That's why these teams have 1,000 points, because they got to win. So it's technically the top 10 on the leaderboard will go through, but 5 wins, top 5 without a win.
Teams that are going to be playing going into the next game. I'm just wondering, do we want to see even more? I know we're talking about this last.
I like the name Brodio. She's dying. Ozzy, thank you for your chill.
Oh, you're back on the hate train for Podosai, Frankie?
I'm just farming. I'm farming the French.
D1 hater, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what she's...
D1 hater, bro. What is happening to the broadcast, man? What is happening?
She loves the French more than anyone here, I think, to be honest.
Thank you, Beef Slater with the tier 1.
These guys, I'm not too worried.
How my Preds looking?
Honest, right? Like, I feel like any of the teams that are currently like in those, you know, top consistency places, we've seen them all throughout the day consistently make it to end games. That's all, you know. That's
so I got so I had yes, and then yes, and then in the top 5 I had yes, no. So far I'm doing pretty well, I would say. Unfortunately, Stormyrat winning and then Artskill coming second kind of ruined it for me, because I didn't have Artskill, I didn't have Stormyrat, so I'm doing alright. I'm doing pretty good.
Names in this lobby, Vanya, Pixie, Marius are still also kind of on that consistency.
Hey, you cough syrup with a private 38. No, Group 1's today, Group 2's in like 6 days or 5 days, and then Group 3's the day after that. There's quite a long break in the gap in the groups.
Yeah, this is a team that like I felt most confident about getting a win here at some point today, and I'm not ruling that out just yet, right? We still got 2 more games.
Yeah, it's a sick name, bro. Brodio is a clean name.
But, you know, ultimately, like you said, they've been really impressive individual.
Oh, Gradient, thanks for $5 dinner, bro. Can I get a quick recap of what happened so far? Fortnite.
Had some crucial moments, some big shots. So
yeah, it's been a scrappy group, man. This is a very inexperienced group, so it's like we've got some good teams in here, but there's a lot of teams with no grands performances, so it leaves like a very scrappy kind of tournament so far.
To eventually pick up a win in one of these final 2 games.
Well, we are ready for game number 4, so let's head back to Mini Miner and the best taco.
No, you're all good, Suds.
Thank you so much, Frankie. That's right.
It's more just like, bro, I'm trying to curb people like starting these massive conversations about like players we're not even watching, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, I like talking about Peterbot, Poyo, all that, but some of you guys go on these like gigantic tangents of like Poyo versus Peterbot and Cold and Ritual, and what if Clicks played with Peterbot? We're not even watching NA. It just gets a bit much, man.
Some exciting moments in this final game, or this penultimate game.
Thank you, Psycho, with the private 13.
Everything to kind of just break out like Wild Wild West style, because teams that are outside of that top 5 in the consistency metrics, they know that it's
appreciate it, dude.
To be able to make up enough points, even if you have a strong
it is bot, bro. Stormyrat, one of the OGs, man.
A little bit too far behind, so Victor Royale is where it's at next, and we'll see who collects it here in match 4.
Where's Veno? Veno plays in Group 2. Group 2 is by far the most stacked group ever created. I'm not even kidding. Like, it is insane how stacked EU Group 2 is. Like, if you took the EU Group 2 and showed me it as a Div 1 finals, I'd believe it. Like, it looks like just what a finals lobby would look like if a few other big teams just missed out. Like, had a bad week, you know?
To be landing there. So, keeping a close eye here on this map to see what goes down there. Of course, Tayson, Chicho, and Harris's drop. As you see, quite a few arrows heading towards that way, but you never know.
Mezzo with a 2-on-3, thanks, dude.
Yeah, and it's hard to want to stake your bets as well.
Correct, there is, yeah.
Such a popular POI like Crime
You don't play
City
every group, you only get to play one group.
Again, if other teams look to challenge you there, Mini, you could encounter a whole slew of difficulties, and having to bank everything on that Game 5 performance might
NA's groups are much more balanced.
As just taking your chances here in Game 4. This Finn, sure if
pump and dump him. Pump and dump him.
Strikes at the Kappa Kappa factory. New and Jonah.
Pump and dump him at the Kappa Kappa factory.
Making sure.
Oh, what the fuck happened to the game that I love, man?
Currently, Maldives hoping that he can manage to remain out of view long enough. Team getting a nice tag, but it's from so far away that New knows there's no real threat necessarily. They just want to find this lone player in Maldives. They want to confirm the final elimination so they can be comfortable working their way through Kappa Kappa Factory without getting caught off guard from someone sitting around corner. All depends on whether or not Maldives is going to be able to connect this shot, but New, he's hesitant. He's looking. He's checking corners as adamantly as he can, but didn't manage to peep what was underneath the staircase.
It's the joys of watching it. We get to see exactly where Moldus is.
What drop you claim for Pro-Am? Got to wait till they drop the Pro-Am, the reload map, man. I don't really know how drop map claiming is going to go on a reload map.
Than Moldus' team, and of course, for those that have just joined us, Kappa Kappa Factory was the location of Hutty, Dexy, and Artis, who did win game number 1. So sort of up for grabs for the rest of the players, and these are the two teams that have been sort of making it their temporary home, you'd have to imagine. But Maldus is doing a fantastic job of playing hide and seek.
You damn it, with the tier 1, thank you, man.
Up here at Lone Wolf Lair, this is a fight that went incredibly quickly last game.
No, I think Pro-Am's playing on just the new map. I think they're going to make it sort of only plays on the Chapter 2 new map.
Yeah,
it's not going to rotate.
Saw them kind of just skirting around the top end of these buildings here at Lone Wolf Lair.
But I think the claiming of drops is going to depend heavily on who my pro is.
Cause a little bit of a disruptance. Be harder.
I'm gonna try and pick the stocks up. I'm gonna have to hit some crazy clips and put them up on Twitter. Try and get my cloud up off spawn fighting.
See whether or not they're gonna actually encounter each
or
other
get Peterbot, one of the two.
Breaking through the floor now, but the first one to fall is actually gonna be Sadie. So Firebros team definitely pretty happy to know that they are able to strike first here at Lone Wolf Lair, but they've got to get a move on because there are teams in the distance that could definitely look to try and third party, and sure enough, Kenti nearly losing all of their shield in the process. That's going to make this engagement just drag out a little bit longer here at Lone Wolf.
Yeah, and it's definitely Kentic's team's drop spot. I think they own it as far as how today has gone. Looking like they're completely dominant off spawn in this particular area. And Kido,
what's going on here?
That we saw fighting towards that far west side of the map. It's the side of a vault right now. He's getting a lovely shot there onto Yasin here in Crime City. I think this is one of our teams that must have landed here as well. So it's all starting to...
Crime City fire's going down.
Here inside of the vault area, as we expect. But for this trio, we have seen some ups and downs.
Thank you, Burger, with the Prime. Thank you, F, for the tier 1.
We can expect from this trio. We haven't seen the togetherness, the ability to take players out as a trio. We've seen a lot of disjointedness and disjointed fighting between all of them. And Kido hits a fantastic 165 shot to take out Misha right there. Perfect elimination for that trio. And they need it. This is a team that do, of course, need this this particular fight to go well for them. 25th on the leaderboard.
And Khan's been fighting a lot today for only 33
this is
points.
A team that we spoke about at the beginning. They need a win, and they're throwing everything that they know.
Veno's coaching this team? Oh, is he?
Win this game, landing at Crime City here.
And the other thing I kind of want to draw attention towards here, though, Minnie, is that for some of these teams, you know, they've had, you know, whether they've had a whole lot of success or no success.
Oh, Floki got in.
Initial off spawn. Teams like Floki, Snazy, they're constantly being caught up in these early fights. Do you think that it's worth continuing to, pressure that early engagement?
Nice, Nate. Hell yeah.
Now, right? So a lot of these teams kind of in for a penny.
Bro,
in
Pubs
for a
of
pound,
Muselk
they don't really
was a
have
fun
any other
period of
choice, but
playing
would it
Fortnite
have been
there.
worthwhile to switch up this strategy earlier on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? You could say, you want to try and go for these fights a little bit more earlier on. You want to try and maybe play a little bit less aggressive. I know Floki, Snazy, and Ice, of course, is a team that we saw do very well in that first game. Of course, had a bit of a troublesome situation there in the end, but I think they're a team that have played a little bit more passively so far today, and we can see them sort of rotating there towards pump power. They've tried to flip that switch, so I think it's just all about how
Think you make it with a private
confident you are in
27?
your abilities and what your team are capable of. For a team that is more capable of sort of getting in close and fighting, just like iDrop, Sky, and Scroll, you can play to those strengths.
Oh, nice
It's
shots.
not a one-size-fits-all, of course.
The
burst actually hits so hard.
And Rizoi, they've recognized, sure, we might have gotten the initial advantage, but it's a whole fresh trio trying to break into the black market. And Khan, he's been isolated, separated from the rest of his team. Scroll, iDrop, just closing in. Rizoi, fortunately, going to be able to lap back around, but the issue now extends. They're not going to be able to make use of that black market like they'd initially been intending. Instead, it seems as though they're going to have to forfeit it entirely to iDrop, Sky, and Scroll unless
Correct, yes. In any victory format chat in Fortnite, if you qualify by winning, once you win, you're not allowed to keep playing.
Played there from iDrop, Sky, and Scroll. You understand the landscape of the lobby. Fortunately for the Lone Wolf Lair fight, we've been seeing it going down. It's extended a little bit here as Waze looks as though he's on his last legs. Monet there, just outside of the drop spot. It's just not been the day to remember for this team in terms of their off-spawn engagements.
If the delay was match merits, it definitely worth it. With the extra delay, I don't know.
I'm just not seeing that confidence, if you like, from that team.
Also, I'm fully expecting Pete to literally put in a 30-minute shift today. Like, I think we're all kind of expecting Pete to just win game one. We'll see.
One of the players here, because of course Monet is just trying to escape as
You
much as
CJ
he can.
was on 15.
You can do at this point. And
Was
even
it
just
last season where
disengaging
Pete was
is
going to
not
win
really
game one and he
enough for
deliberately
Monet
threw it and
to try
people were
get as much
pissed?
damage as they can, maybe pick up a reboot.
That was funny as.
But Chuck, Kensick, and Fibro, they're not going to let it happen. Another knock. Another
Sup, DJ?
firm stamp on their mark at this drop spot. But really nicely played from them.
Waze is just trying to.
Oh, was that Grim season, was it?
remain as
Oh, that
concealed
wasn't
as
last
possible,
season?
but,
Okay, I remember
those
one of the
pulse scanners
seasons
are
Pete
gonna
did that.
Make quick work of those hidden positions, and
Pete won first last
that's,
season.
It's
Okay.
definitely a tough break though for a team like Monet. And again, Minnie, if you haven't had the off-spawn success that you might have been intending for with your team in your group stage,
Is Sony games even against
how much
TOS?
of that do you think is actually going to play
Technically,
in
yes, but
to
actionable,
that last
no.
chance qualifier? Because this could be some valid experience as far as like the off-spawn contention is concerned, but
Yeah.
for some of these teams, I mean, you get even less lobbies to work with when it comes to the last chance.
Yeah, it's tough. It's difficult because now this is where they start to have to ask questions. Is it the drop spot? Is it the team? Do we need to try and change things up? Is it a strategy situation? Maybe bring in a coach to help out? It is tough for teams when you do have such a disappointing group stage performance, particularly off spawn. You don't even get to play end games, really. And it just becomes so difficult to know where to go next. I think for most teams, the best option is maybe to stick to what you know best. The landscape of the lobby
What's the punishment of throwing games?
in the
Nothing.
LCQ might be a little bit different if they, of course, do make it into that lobby. So, you just have to keep trying new things. And if it all fails, you just have to stick to what you know, I think, at that point.
Couldn't agree more with you. As now taking some peeks into the game plan here from Collapsy, Zany, and Burke, but Collapsy honestly getting clapped from a ring.
Oh, really? The
Not
top 6
the
teams?
exchange
That's
that he'd been
crazy.
hoping for. More than enough
The
shield,
top
though,
6
to
teams
make
last
up
grands all got
for
there
what
by
was
winning a
lost.
game in
It's
groups. So getting through
more
on
so just the fact
consistency
that
is
they're
not a good
getting the
sign.
damage that they were hoping for, so they're gonna have to look for those surge tags elsewhere. Cringe, Volko, and Kiruo though closing in on these outskirt positions. Clay Stash and Polish.
I expected
they've got
Cringe,
be
Kiddo, and Volko to be
wary.
doing better here, man. I'm not going to lie.
But Nemo, zero concern, immediately punished from the skies, forced to now base up, and Flame not even gonna get a chance to get closer to his teammate. They were on the aggression, trying to chase out a solo from earlier, but they're not gonna be able to pinpoint Polish just yet. In fact, it might be Cringe's
Oh,
team now
yeah. Wait, that
benefiting
stat's a little
from
bit
the
off because
PlayStation
Vanya won
stream
in
that
last
started.
chance and came
Yeah, they're
third.
sort
You're
of
right.
rolling on through, but what I like is they're not just trying to go all out, guns blazing immediately. They need to using that sort of experience that they have to ensure that they're not just going to jump
But yeah,
in
technically Marius
and,
did get through by winning the game, but it was in last chance, not groups.
Situation for them. I think they were 12th going into this game. Of course, sort of 9th when it comes to
Your napkins,
taking
thinking
away the
Noble.
first
Yeah, my voice will get
three
better
on
and
the
better as the day
leaderboard,
goes
so
on. It'll sound
still
better,
a
but it's
little
going to
bit
feel
away
worse.
from
We'll
that
see how
top
we go.
five for consistency. This is a team that do have what it takes. They have the potential. They have the power, the
Big B,
experience.
the 2-1, thanks, man.
And of course, the drop spot, the loot. And it's slightly surprising they haven't quite been as good as maybe some were expecting. But that's the beauty of this sort of format, is anything can change in an instant. All you need is Kiddo to hit a few big one pumps, frag out in endgame, and things can take a turn for the better as Nemo tries to bait that Chug Jug.
Bro, break the stair, please.
Find the connection, though, and this is where this fight has started to happen. Unfortunately, though, for Nemo's team, one of them is, of course, further away. I think it was Clay, wasn't it, that was a little bit further away. So if Kiddo's team can take advantage, it's going to be a great opportunity. It wasn't Clay, it was the other players. So it looks as though they've been able to do that. Nemo has to try and clutch up, but it's going to be really tough. I think the other player is just going to run away now, and I think that's all he can do.
Oh.
Yeah, not really any options left over there for Flame. Even making his way towards those reboot cards could prove to be difficult, could prove to be his own demise here. Cringe, Kiruo, Volko. A bit surprised to see them play that as slowly as they did. Almost would have anticipated them to just immediately jump into those boxes from the get-go, but once Nemo's shields have been fully cracked, that seemed to be their green light to
What's up, Top? He once been very scrappy, my dude. I didn't realize how inexperienced this lobby was. Half this lobby's never made a grands before, so it's getting scrappy.
Putrix's trio, yet another one of our teams.
We're seeing some of our big teams not having got a win yet so far. Vanya and iDrop not having a win yet is definitely a bit shocking.
And that certainly put a big halt.
Roy Watch, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it just hasn't really been the best day for these guys either. Very low down on the leaderboards. That's why they're trying to go for these higher eliminations and try to be a little bit more fraggy here in the early stage of the game. Which is what we see them try and do. We have seen them try to fight.
Yeah, enhanced reboots are on now, yeah.
Most notably probably against Han's trio, Rezoy and Ankido. We've seen them in lots of engagements against those guys. It just hasn't seemed to have gone their way, but now if they can get the momentum on their side, which these eliminations will do, and will hopefully bring them, they should hopefully be able to find a little bit more success. But deep into Storm here, they need to make their way in. But all you need is just that couple of eliminations, couple of opportunities to pick up some refreshes, and your game is just set.
Yeah, you just don't want to get stuck constantly going for the scraps of the lobby, right? And I think that's something where not necessarily having
You're ending? No, I'll stay live today.
Of these set lobby experiences could definitely start to become a reoccurring threat here for some of these teams, where they're trying to find areas that they can actually establish their surge from. But when you're having to consistently switch it up between each and every match, that tells you a lot about just how difficult it can really be to have a solidified surge strategy online throughout the course of a 5-game series. But Jonah and Alan, they're still caught in the mix of it all. They want to try and play, and we haven't really seen a whole lot of island gameplay. I think a lot of teams just not really preferring to get caught up inside of the gliding. It's not as much safety.
It's seeded, Elite. It's seeded based on your placement in play-ins, but because placements in a battle royale is so random, it's
sort of surrounding it.
the seeding doesn't really mean that much. It might as well just be luck.
Have that great advantage over everyone else.
Sometimes you get an easy lobby, sometimes you get a hard lobby. It's just luck of the draw.
Island means that everyone around you is just gonna be flying around. So that's why we see the other team there just deciding to disengage. It was Neo there who went down, and for his teammates now, actually, it looks as though they might actually be able to pick him up here. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, nice. Good clutch.
He crawled off of the island.
I think he got rebooted out of the sky and then beamed. Yeah, I think he got rebooted. Yeah.
It was the reboot. I was confused for a second.
Heat 2 EU tops is insane. Like, we're going to have some big upsets in Heat 2 on EU.
If they get knocked out of the air while rebooting, they're still inside of the box and back as a trio, which is important. But yeah, it's one team on the island at a time, it seems like, at the moment.
Vicious cycle, though, getting rebooted and then immediately knocked yet again. Still going to burn through some very scarce resources. So
how good we talking? The best group I've ever seen.
Team to kind of worked their way out of. And not really surprised to see teams kind of collecting inside the storm, hanging around Seedport City. A little bit of build up here though, and teams knowing that they can just play for the vending machine. Shaco's definitely
kind of like a Grands. I mean, kind of like a Div 1 finals tops where like a few big teams chokes, you know what I mean? They've got like, there's like literally like 7 tier 1 teams basically. See if I can find you my predictions for top 10 for...
Yeah, so difficult. I
mean,
mean,
find it.
It's not been the ideal day for these guys whatsoever. Landing at Seaport all day. They haven't been able to find their feet inside of these games, lacking eliminations, lacking consistency towards
this is my group 2
stages of the game. You can only imagine
this is 7 of the teams in group 2. You've got Vico, Malibuca, Chap, Queasy, Blaha, Feroxy, and Cammy all in the same group.
In this,
and that's just the 7 biggest teams.
One more after this.
There's still some phenomenal teams outside of that too. That's just like the 7 like guaranteed quals in any other group.
Are a little bit lower down to get some placement to give themselves an option in game number 5 to not just have to go all out for the win and maybe have a good consistent game to put them into that top 5 consistency.
Yeah, it's a brutal group, man. When only 10 teams make it through and that's 7 of the teams, like there's not a lot of room for error. You have a slow couple games and it's going to be really hard to qual.
Game 4 here. Venya, Marius, and Pixie, though, Mini. This is easily a team that not a lot of people would have predicted.
Yeah, CCB's in that group, but he's con, so I didn't put him in my top 7, but it's tough.
Granted, they've had a pretty strong day. They're in, you know, that consistency qualling threshold, but most people would have expected the win by now.
I was expecting the win by now.
Very consistent, as you mentioned. We saw the quick stat.
It's only been 3 games, but
2 teams to a place in top 10 in every single game so far. But yeah, it's not disappointing because
yeah, Pradaj is in there, Stella's in there, like so many teams, man. It's good for Savage though. It means Fred might not qual, but I think if Fred doesn't qual, I don't think Savage will get uncon master in Grands. I think someone else will try and drop on them would be my guess.
Snazy and Ice, these guys also need to have that time. They're a team that sort of in the middle of the leaderboard going into this game. Not so great, but not terrible at the same time. It's not a disasterful situation for them. So
the plasma rifle's so cheese.
As for Polish and his trio, it's not quite as good.
Yeah, there you go, Ryan. Appreciate the private 21, bro.
Stage of the leaderboard, you can sort of see why the Storm Surge has been a bit of a problem. They're trying to aggress this team's box, as Floki's team are really trying their best to just back off, put it in reverse, get it all.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
As much builds in between you and the opponents as possible, and that's what they're trying
double
to do.
Chug
Right
Jug, nice.
Unrelenting pressure from Polish's trio.
1,000 above, jeez.
They don't need this fight. They're 1,000 above.
Yeah, and they can tell that this other team is desperate for a reason, but Polish finally going to get punished for some of that over-aggression. But that's just a matter of desperation coming into play here. Rob Steele going to be next to fall here. Only
still below, jeez. Yeah, we did not shoot our guns at all.
Small shield potions being expended here. Snazy, Floki, and Ice.
Homie, put it away. It's not doing anything. Like, you know what? I respect the attempt. I respect the attempt. We were so close to getting the 300 damage we needed.
But now some real pressure might have just come into the mix there. Saw a glimpse of Potus ISV's and Art Skill. That's a team that might also be rearing for a fight here, but Panda, Bene, they've got to get inside zone. They've got damage, but...
Well, this is Frizzavai who came 4th yesterday in solos.
No, they don't have that
team. So he's doing pretty well in trios.
This is a duo performance.
At least he made groups anyway.
Required right here. I think this is...
I feel like there's not many NA players who are absurdly good at solos and not good at trios, but there's quite a few on EU.
To perform well.
Like, is there like a fishy of NA, like someone who's like almost always top 10 solos, but just doesn't do anything in trios? I swear there's not.
Now they're down to a duo. Tricks, Carmino and Slock say these guys are below, so they're really having to put the alarm bells on and say, right, we need to get inside of a box. That's why they're playing those splashes. They're playing the
language barriers. Yeah, you're right. I think it's because of language barriers.
Into these boxes,
yeah, Prison would be another decent example too.
As effectively as possible, hopefully without losing any of their players.
Veers, Xander. Xander might be a decent one.
Ortmo goes down there as well. So
but yeah, you're right. It's just language barriers. So it doesn't really apply on NA. It's a good point.
Pick up a crucial elimination, which does put them above the Storm Surge threshold. And they still need this loot. They still need to take this fight, as they still need that refresh.
Yeah, and it's not like Vasquez and his team are in a much better position, but Vasquez might have just turned the cards here. managing to find a full
Archie in his
elimination.
prime.
Just like I say, that's at least
I think you
about
couldn't have
a little
come up with a
bit of
worse
time, but
example of someone who was
Storm is
dominating
relenting.
solos but didn't
The
pop off in
damage,
trios.
the ticks,
Archie's prime was just
they are
getting
just
carried in
eating away
trios,
at
bro.
his HP bar. Even with
Archie's
that
one of the
last
funniest
Memphis
motherfuckers
grenade,
ever. I love him to
Aussie
death, but I don't know
only
where
hope
you pulled
for
that
the
one from.
replacement points, but what he needed was
That
a
literally
win.
was Archie's
This is
prime,
not
was
a
just
winning
paying people to
position for
carry him in
either Marius,
trios.
Pixie, and Vanya. On the other end of that note, though, they are taking over as far as control of the
Yo,
mountain
Archie was a
range is
good ass
concerned.
talent scout, though. I'll give him that. Holy
Very
shit, man.
nicely
He
done
made
from
some
those
absolute
guys so
W
far. It
investments.
seems like whenever they make it to that end stages of the game, they just lose one player. They have a problem that always seems to go wrong for them.
Ooh,
They haven't
Marius
been
and
able to
Kiddo, here we
be
go.
in
Two of our
control
big teams
the
need to win
entire
here.
way. They always seem to be scrambling.
Maybe not a win,
in
but
those sort of mid
we're
to low
expecting a
ground
win.
layers. So hopefully for them, this game's going to provide them with a little bit more flexibility, freedom to maybe take height, as we know these guys can do, as they continue to just apply pressure to all those players that are trying to make their way in. They're really holding down that sort of north side of the zone. They don't want anyone to be next to them, because of course if that team do need Storm Surge, they're going to be trouble, and you can just see the unrelenting pressure from this trio coming through. Rezoy was on the receiving end of that, I believe it was, all the way down on HP. Putrix is there as well. Kolb all in that sort of mess. It's a bit of a problem for all of those players, because there's so many players now looking at them. One of our top teams, iDrop Sky, and Scroll below on Storm Surge damage. This is something we haven't seen from these guys too often, or indeed at all, since they've been playing together. They're usually very good at getting damage early on, but they haven't been able to
Come
find
on,
it this game.
boys.
In fact, they're
Nice,
paying the
nice.
price right now.
Ugh, nice. Good damage.
Just trying to get whatever damage they can. Velasquez, unfortunately, was a little bit of a easier pickup from the Surge tick damage. Just not really an opportunity there for
Yeah,
iDrop,
Surge
but
is brutal. No, iDrop goes
they'll have that
down.
opportunity. They're a little bit tough spot as far as being over the water next to Demon's Dojo, but Frenek, Gidas, Dinas, they're just trying to see if they can even pave their way up this little bit of an elevation span. Saw one team already starting to commit to a little bit of the high ground,
he does like
and
drop
so
shipping and
it's
stuff now,
definitely
Coombs.
come at a cost.
So Archie definitely business grinding, but not meme
Sky
coins.
no longer with them, barely above the damage threshold. Very likely that he's going to choose to try and tank up what he can from the storm itself, but
Go
the
Scroll,
water sprite's
go
only gonna
Sun,
buy him a little
go
bit of
Scroll.
time.
Run.
The moment that he peeps his
Run.
head over the horizon,
No.
someone is bound
No.
to take notice. He's not even going to get a chance to get into this
172
next
though.
end zone.
They might already be qualled.
Just
One more
too
game.
little,
10 more
too
points
late.
next game and they're chilling, I think.
I think they paid the price for a lot of
Qual's gonna be
players
around
actually moving
180
towards
for the
that
top
Prime
5
City
on
area,
consistency,
fighting
by the way,
there,
chat.
using them for Storm Surge earlier on in the games, and they just lost their Storm Surge farm towards the west, but who haven't lost any of their ability right now? It's Marius, Pixie, and Vanya who are continuing to apply pressure, trying to go for those preempts as well. You
DJ,
can
does
see what their
tag teaming
focus
mean
is
something
here.
different
It's
in the
damage
UK
now.
to
It's
Australia?
trying to give
Otherwise,
themselves
what
that
the fuck have you just said?
ability to play how they want in this end game, as we do have a height team cementing themselves up there so far.
It's my
Lots of
favorite
mental
game,
ability.
Maris.
Serene, Voitus,
Those are the 3 main
and
options.
that team. So I'm interested to see if
Why
they
did the
can hold
Fortnite
on to
Pro
this. We've
quit?
seen
Was
a
it
lot of these
meme
high-ground
coins,
teams
gambling, or
today
drop shipping?
Struggling to
You
find
got a
the refreshes,
95%
struggling to find
chance of being
eliminations,
right with
and
one of those
ultimately
3.
running out of steam. Can they be different?
The problem is this material count doesn't look like a team that's going to be able to hold on to it throughout the course of these moving zones here, Minnie. And sure enough, they've already been cut off. Marius, Pixie, Vanya have beat them to the punch as far as controlling the front side is concerned. The moment that they drop, they're going to have to deal with Marius's trio. So they're
Ooh,
trying to
Van,
do
you're on
damage
second
they can,
height
trying
here.
to make them burn whatever materials they can. But Marius, just another simple refresh from his teammates coming into play. They've got such a firm grasp on this secondary height. They're keeping tabs on the team above, but they know it's likely only a matter of time before they come tumbling down. Surely they can't hold on to this forever, so they're trying to make them burn, again, as much material as possible, but Marius just refuses to budge. He's not giving up.
Oh,
the
Marius
secondary
wants
height
this, bro.
anytime
Marius
soon.
wants
All the
this.
while, teams in the low ground just completely destroying each other, but they're getting picked apart from the mid-ground.
Yeah, the zone pulls tumbling down the
Oh,
hill.
Serene
now,
has
so
no
the team
baseball
behind
bat,
them have
though.
to drop
This
a
is
lot of
really
pressure.
dangerous for
See
Serene.
how
Wait, Serene's
little
dead.
materials they have
Serene's
right now.
dead.
You see that
Yeah.
Vanya, Marius,
Oh.
and Pixie went
Oh.
all the way down to the front side, look back, spray up, and then hopefully take height. I think that's going to be something they're going to try and look to do, but no,
my
they do try and
God,
go
the
on down.
beams
That's
from
gonna
this
be
man.
successful for Serene, who does pick up so much damage on them as they do. Cringe, Kiddo, Volko, a team that we haven't seen too much in this stage of the game so far, but a team that has got what it takes. They're playing the low ground, 6 eliminations for them so far as well, but they do need the refreshes as they're plowing on through these low ground layers, trying to claim as much space as possible. But look at their build, Sacco. They need a refresh now more than ever.
Volko trying to see if he can make something happen. Ivan, Aryan, though, they're just holding Kiruo. They're going to force him.
139 for Kiruo. This is good points for them to get one more good game next game at least.
Ultimate low, but he's split. Kiruo has hardly any HP to his name. It's all down practically to Volko as far as extending this team's.
Yeah, I want to see Marius there. Where's Marius? Where's Marius? Where's Marius? There's Marius. Marius wins this. Marius wins this. Marius wins this. Wait, Kenti's running out of mats. I genuinely think Marius wins this. Wait, they have nothing. I think Marius wins. Oh, they're scrambling. They're scrambling, bro. Wait, they got up first, though. They got up first. No, Pixie goes down. I cursed them.
Yeah,
it's a 3v. It's a 3v2. It's a 3v2. I cursed them. No, they're gonna come second. That's fine. That's right. They're qualled. They're qualled. They're qualled. They're qualled. That's enough for Marius. They're qualled. Okay, who the fuck just won? I was so focused on Marius. Who just won? Who the fuck just won? Kentic. That's the one. I definitely knew. Alright. Chat, if you guys win the V-Bucks, let's make it FIRE. F-I-R-E. Because there's no fucking way any of you guys are spelling any of the rest of those names correct. Let's just do FIRE. F-I-R-E, FIRE. Let's keep it nice and simple.
A win and you're in is the dream scenario. So
That'll be fine. That should be a qual for Marius, though, I'm pretty sure. That's got to be enough points. Thanks love on YouTube, by the way, as well. 4,000 viewers. This is my first time streaming FNCS on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry you're getting, like, dead voice, low energy jazz vibes, but appreciate y'all.
An excellent victory royale to punch their way.
I will be doing this for every round of FNCS now.
What do you guys got to say?
Thank you very much, Taka. I was looking at the standings just when we went into game 4, and I was going, hang on a second, where's Fibro? Why is he outside of the top 10 with his trio?
Okay, to be fair, a lot of us expected Fire Hunter to be outside top 10.
This is a trio that weathered such a difficult storm. I mean, the circles.
Yeah, if you win a game, you stop playing, chat.
Honest, for Group 1.
All right, 20 more seconds and we'll call the V-Buck giveaway.
Yeah, it doesn't get much cooler than that. I mean, it just kept pulling further and further and further. It's like, come on, give us a break, give us a pullback or two. I mean, you know, they handled it, you know, they made the best of a bad situation there. And another example, you know, like a sort of like an old school CIS player there in Fire, bro, who sort of sneaks his way in. So good to see these guys make it in. And like Minnie very much mentioned, it's like,
all right, chat, we'll call there. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Perfect spot to just farm out that situation.
How do you enter? It's just a V-Buck. It's just a Nightbot giveaway, bro. You type the word in chat and it puts you in the running, and then we draw the winner randomly. Everyone has the same chance of winning. As long as you type it in once, you're entered.
Until they played this match, and once they were finally in those last moments,
I'll check the leaderboard after they go to the break chat.
Capitalized on the situation and got that victory royale.
One more game, chat. One more game.
They were going to qualify through consistency before they ended up getting that, so this is huge for them.
For Grands, I'll be doing probably like a 40-hour stream or whatever it is to watch EU, NA Central, NA West, OC Day 2, and then EU, NA Central, NA West.
Right at the end there. Be lovely to see the standings again.
Oh yeah, prediction. Sorry, Chad. Yeah, let me check prediction. That was Marius on the prediction.
We've got to go to it. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what, guys? I was getting so into it. It's because it's like back to school day. I forgot. We've got to take a break. We've got to put a pause on this conversation. When we come back, finally, we get to talk about where on earth Cringe, Kaduo, and Volko have been. So we'll see you in a few.
Thank you, Linguini, with the prime for 3. All right, let's see leaderboard chat. We have got... All right, 1 game to go. We've got Dexy, Stormy Right, Fire, and Hriss have won the first 4 games. 1 game to go. We have Vanya already qualified, Dynus already qualified, Artskill already qualified, I think. So it's these 2 spots here that are up for grabs right now. The last 2 consistency spots. I mean, for 204 not to make it would be insane. 190 is what the highest qual was for a group last season. So it could go to, like, it can go really, really high randomly depending on who gets the wins in the last game. But if Vanya gets the win especially, it opens up another spot. But if none of the 5 here currently get a win, qual's going to be quite high. I'm not going to lie. Top 5 consistency qual's going to be high here. Are you crazy? Think you Elf, Linguini, Beeson, Z-Legend, Solar, Reining, Raze, Big B, Noble? They saw subs, chat. Appreciate you. Look at the gap, though. Yeah, it is quite a large gap. Yeah. 204 to 186, and then 172 to 140 is pretty solid. Yeah, you're right. Never know what could happen. They never know what could happen. If I drop dice on spawn and this team gets, like, you know, a 40-point game and none of them win, like, it changes very quickly, though. Peter's playing later today on NA. Yep. It is Peterbot's group today. Thanks for joining me, chat. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. This is our first time doing the midnight wake up as well, so a little 1 a.m. start and the vibes are good. Of course, Sky and Scroll will qual right. I mean, they might not, bro. Might not. They're in a risky spot right now. Hey, Louis with the Prime for 7. Am I taking a break today? No. No, I'm gonna watch some YouTube in the break, man. It's only like a 2-hour break, so might as well stay live, bro. Watch some YouTube, chill out. We got some good YouTube videos to watch. Dignitas posted their is DigFN smarter than a 5th grader video, which I am very excited to watch. DigFN's YouTube content has been fucking pumping right now. Genuinely S tier content coming out of Dig. You thick boy with a Prime. Thank you, dude. Oh, that sucks, Shaker. No, I definitely have the flu, bro. I think I've either got just like a viral or a bacterial chest infection. It's just my chest and my voice. Everything else is totally fine. Like I have no head congestion. Don't feel like foggy at all. It's weird. It's literally just my voice. No bias, I'm sure. I mean, I'm allowed to be biased, but also I would say even chat's been loving it. Like the views have been amazing on it. It's definitely the highest production Fortnite content right now, without a doubt. So am I going to be in a Dig video Pro-Am? Yeah, we're going to try and film some content with Dig when at the Pro-Am, and I'm also doing my own vlog of the Pro-Am. I want to do like a really good vlog. Like I'm putting a bunch of effort into it. And one sec, let's go to the bathroom real quick while they do the recap here.
Congratulations to Kendick, Firebro, and Chucks. We will be seeing them in in a few weeks' time for the Major 2 Grand Finals. Yes, I know, Levin, I'm getting ahead of myself. I am giddy because I can't wait to talk about the chaos of Game 4 tonight. We were saying about how that zone was particularly difficult. I feel like, though, Levin, a lot of the trios today haven't caught a break with the zones. The mountains have been so deadly, it feels like almost every single game.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like, it's Fortnite, innit? You know what I mean? It's like, all the zones are tough today. Like, I always find it funny when players, like, I'm complaining about that, because I get it. Like, when you play and you're actually in the game, and you feel like the game's against you, but it's like, that's just the luck of the draw. And as a fan, just watching, it's more entertaining that way, so I'm never complaining.
Well, let's take a look at the standings if we can, because it'd be interesting to see where we're at. Now, make a note of the fact, guys at home, that 1 to 4, those are duos, trios even, that have already qualified for the grand final. So we'll be seeing them in a few weeks' time. But if you look downwards, Vanya, Pixie and Maris, they've been consistent all night. They've been pulling off limbs exactly when they need to. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that they might be able to pull off the victory royale, though, still, Takata.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job. They've made top 10 every single game throughout the day. They're doing a good job of getting those eliminations, but they just haven't converted any of them to the victory royale yet. But I mean, if you want to end it off in style, then doing it in the last match is the way to go, Levin.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't see, I think there's a bit of bias here from Frankie, to be honest with you guys. Because, you know, Frankie was doing this whole, oh yeah, Podeside's just trying to do the content for M8, give them some more content. You know, Marius and Vanya are doing the same thing. They just want to play all the games out. I didn't hear that from you, Frankie.
Yeah, where's that bias?
Like, Maris has also got a very excitable chat. And again, I just really enjoying seeing Maris brag out. And you know what? You can be biased towards anyone now because everyone has to play in game number 5. And then we'll find out which 10 trios have secured their spot in the finals. There's a trio that I am kind of tracking keenly, though, through these games at the moment because we spoke about them in the pre-show. Cringe is a trio. They are doing so well in their early games in terms of picking up loot. They're getting the train. Sometimes they're going to the black market as well. And yet it's been so rare seeing them convert this to an endgame situation, Takata, until this last game.
Yeah, I honestly thought they were performing better until I saw where they were on the leaderboard, right? Going into this last match, they were in 12th. They were quite significantly, well, out of that qualifying range, right? But they've been doing such a good job getting eliminations in the early and the mid game, but converting those refreshes in those final moments where you need it most to kind of push yourself through that top 10 into more of a top 3, top 4. Even winning the match is what they've had difficulty doing, Levin.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Again, this is a team that is like relatively newly formed, right? You know, they've not had much experience playing with each other. So I guess figuring things out, especially in a lobby like this. But they're, there or thereabouts. You know, with that last game, it really puts them in a stronger position.
Well, at least they're only just sitting outside the top 10. If they are able to convert that early game to success and make it to the final zone, we should be seeing them make it through. There's another trio, though, that are higher up in the rankings, though. Takata, we were having a little chat, and you made a really interesting comparison, even actually in the last post game. Podesi's trio, they're a trio that almost have the opposite approach to the likes of Kidua's trio. And they are
Copious with the prime 15. Thank you, dude.
Right, they're kind of minimizing that risk earlier on in the match and consistently getting to end game. It kind of reminds me of Casey's
Can I play
trio
FNCS? If you're not Div 1, you can only play last chance qualifier, man.
They're getting to the end game, but they're just not getting enough eliminations
George
to
with the
set
prime.
them up
Thanks,
for
dude.
that victory royale. They're not playing like
BK,
making
Big Boy,
those
Louis,
game-winning
subs chat.
plays.
Thank
But I mean, you can still qualify through consistency, so it's fine. Most likely they'll make it. They've done an amazing job, but I'd like to see them get a victory royale.
Levin, are there any other trios that you're hoping to see a victory royale from potentially in game number 5?
I mean, it quite literally could be anyone's game with game 5 coming up. I would say I still want to see Vanya and them do it, right? Close out the last game in style. I think they've had so many high moments throughout this day that, you know, it'd be a great way to sort of end it off. Some good momentum, especially considering like the teams in Group 1 that qualify always are just sitting out for longer, you know? So ending on the high would be great for them, I think.
Can we take a look at the leaderboard? There's a trio that we haven't spoken about yet. I'm curious to see where they are. And the reason why I want to see them...
Yeah, Hamrat, thanks for 32, bro.
Is it Scriv and
Savage
Seren?
did make it a group, bro. He's in Group 3.
They're the only trio that we've seen today go for Island. And I find that really interesting.
True, we haven't
course,
seen anything going on with Island
some of the
today.
Big trios in Europe. So, for example, King Queasy. That was a huge trap for them in major number 1. I know we've lost the only mask now, so we're not going to see as many people go for Island. But is it still something that can make or break a game, to Carter?
Yeah, I mean, it's
no way, cringe not qualling. I am kind of shocked, bro. Train, like I had him for sure.
Throughout the match, so depending on where the zone pulls, you can kind
of get the little lizard. Oh, do you mean I've got 2 axolotls, Carillion, downstairs. My wife has axolotls, bro, but those are my fish that I have, man. That's a full list.
You can't just TP down from the island. You have to kind of fly on in, and it opens up more opportunities.
Yeah, my wife's got an axolotl tank in our living room.
It's a bit more risky. It's still possible, but you definitely have to be an elite IGL if you want to successfully kind of consistently have those island plays come through.
Very quickly from Levin, do you think it's worth it going for the island?
I mean, if it's convenient, right? I don't think it's a universal yes. I don't think there's many things that are universal yes for teams in Fortnite, right? I think if it makes sense for how the game's playing out, then sure.
All right, well, sound more hype, Levin, because we're going to game number 5 of Group 1. Let's find out who is going to be taking the final victory royale of the night and who is going to be making it to the grand finals.
Me and my wife finished a lot of photos, I've just
Thanks
realized.
so much, guys. And Minnie, today has been full of pleasant surprises. As far as Group 1 is concerned, I think a lot of people would have anticipated some different names to kind of have already staked their way through victory royales. But as far as that consistency metric is concerned, some last-minute opportunities, and those teams outside.
I can't find the best photo, but here you go.
Position, they're kind of hoping
this is 2 of my wife's 3 axolotls.
To the top of the leaderboard is
unfortunately, this one got really sick. That's why skills aren't very nice. But this is Lychee, this is Pineapple. There's a black one called Boba.
Teams haven't necessarily been winning. I think Tayson was the only one that has, but we're going to find out who's going to win in game number 5.
A lot
they're creepy. They're kind of like cute creepy. I know what you mean. Yeah, they're kind of like
of the cutoff threshold here, though.
Cute in a creepy way.
With only 1 lobby remaining.
I like the green ones. Oh, the green ones are really rare. Yeah, green's really rare.
Versus knowing you've got your trio seat set up, ready to go for the major
NCR with a 2-on for 2. Ooh, uncontested lavish. Nice. I guess Firebro qualled, so Firebro won, so now they get Uncon Lone Wolf. Monet's got to make it count.
Extraordinarily happy about the fact that they are now uncontested.
Oh, goodness me. They would have been cheering on Kensick, Firehunter, and Chucks in that end game, you have to imagine, because they do not want to be contested by them here in this final game. What it does mean is if they are contested...
Oh, you know what I mean, Chow, I say lavish. Come on, it's literally lavish reskin. Give me a break. You know what I mean.
But we'll have to wait and see. They need a big, big game here to make that happen, so not going to be easy whatsoever. But they're finally uncontested, which I'm sure they'll be very happy about. Maybe we'll see them later on in the game. And for Neo, Jonah...
No, Alba didn't make groups, unfortunately, man. Alba started to look really solid in trios, but then he kind of fell short.
Doing incredibly well, and look who's back. Neuer and his team back at Mars Meadows. Cade, Iron, and Ivan have a different sort of problem to deal with again.
Mars Meadows, man. Mars Meadows.
Well, Noise team has been shut down. Noise back as a solo. Iron and Cade down. Ivan having to try and clutch up with the revive here. He might have to do a little bit more than just that as well. He might have to hit a shot, but no. Manages to get Cade up, which is great news for that team.
This team is so close to getting top 5 too. 143.
Down, could be revived. But you can see Noya just trying to close in on the duo.
If they lose, this can be so bad, bro.
With a shot through the window. This is a difficult decision for him to make right now. Game number 5, all the pressure's on. This is such an important.
So this team here, Ivan's team, is very close on consistency.
Standings as well. It's so close. So both teams need this.
You've got to be holding your breath for your fellow Welsh comrade, I'm sure, Minnie, but Cade, Ivan, they might be able to settle the difference here. Kido, Cringe, and Volko wasting absolutely no time.
Yo, Jess, even the 20 gifted. That's super generous, Jess. How to do that? Thank you. 294 now. Thank you, lovely. I appreciate that. And Turd, what is happening?
As far as chasing out Burke is concerned,
Thank you. Split with the 5 and Turd with the 20. Was that like coordinated? The fuck was that? What just happened?
After the fact, they want to make
45
sure
gifted subs. And Jess with the 6. Thank you.
A bit of a closer insight for what went wrong here, though.
Oh my god.
Team,
thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry my voice doesn't allow me to show a lot of emotion right now, but thank you so much.
By Clapsy with that surprise contest, it seems like.
Yeah, that's what's happened there, but looks as though they have been able to find a couple of those eliminations. Of course, leaves a train now open for another team, Robcio and Polish's team. This is an important moment for them as well, being able to actually get all of this loot, because of course they are second last on the standings right now, so maybe this is just the catalyst that they need.
I will be Taekwondo. Thank you guys. Appreciate the gift. 303 subs today. Thank you. Almost at 12k again. Holy shit.
From group last season, so that's the number that these teams might be
Oh boy, this team really needs
achieve.
this.
For teams like this, though, they don't care about 200 points. They care about
So wait, what happened to Cringe then?
That's what's going to matter for them in this final game. It's the only choice they have left at this current point. It hasn't been the day to remember for them.
Dead.
A win's essentially going to be their only way.
What's happening?
Through, unless they
hey, 300 turn. Thank you so much. The 300 gifted now. 30 today.
Success through that last chance
Plus the 20. Thank you for the 50 gifted turn. Holy shit. Bro's not watching. I'm a little bit fucking distracted. I just got like 90 gifted subs. My apologies.
Doesn't seem like it's going to deter them too heavily, though.
So they got pushed off the train. Okay.
Beaming a player from afar. Some great shots being applied here.
Alright, so Cringe, why would Cringe get conned as there's more drops free? I'm so confused by that.
Traffic through here. Slaxe also continuing to chase out other players. This team might just have enough, though. They're going to manage to find all.
Marius easy call. Yeah, Marius is already called. Yeah, Marius is chilling. If Marius dies now, he still calls.
Get out.
Thank God.
Mass Meadows. There are so many other teams kind of
no last chance for Marius this season.
Teams all looking to try and take advantage of the vault and black markets nearby.
Oh.
Disaster for Cade, Iron, and Ivan, who are very, very close to getting inside of that consistency qualification. This moment
Yo, what's
right
up,
now
Oli? Thank you, bro. Fighting off the storm sickness, man.
Their entire season. And that's the stakes.
You know, I could really use Oatly for the storm sickness.
That they'll even make the LCQ finals. So these are the moments. This is your chance. You have to treat this like your only chance to qualify.
Only it was our chug time.
Two finals. Ivan does fall as well. So Trix, Sloxe, and Carmino, who also do need this as well. They need to go on a bit of a tear here at the beginning of the game. They need those eliminations. They need to keep themselves going through the game. But I think for now, Cade might just be alive still at this current moment. So he's the last one standing in that team.
Well,
in the distance right there. So
I would say how is groups, but group 1 is later this week, right? Because you guys only have 2 groups in OC.
Find a reboot potentially.
So you guys haven't had groups yet, right?
So much ground to cover, though. And with 2 teams closing in on your position, it's not going to be easy to escape as a solo. Monet, Sadie, Wise, they know that they've got their own troubles brewing here by Magic Mosses. And it seems like so many teams are kind of just like, whatever, man, let's just throw everything into playing into the areas that we know we're going to have the best resources available. Because
this is very sketchy.
It is their best option considering that they don't have any other lobbies left to work with. It's just the last chance qualifier if you're not able to secure your position in this game 5. and Monet knows it, but there's just too much commotion.
That's crazy,
outside of
Oatly.
their
What the
current
hell, bro?
boxed
430 though?
position
You're
for them
crazy,
to
man.
want to fight just yet. They're hoping that they can maybe catch wind of somebody's shields getting cracked from elsewhere. That might be their sign to go ahead and jump in to a box fight, but they're willing to just take their time, play it slowly. They're not looking for any sort of unnecessary risk.
So much patience being displayed from all of these teams in this area. You have teams that are lurking nearby, waiting for the moment to pounce. You have players inside of the box fights. They don't want to get too aggressive right now. Sloxay Carmino, they're looking to get aggressive as they sneak up onto Misha. Gets a huge amount of damage onto him, but it's not going to be enough to take him out. As now the full trio do try and get inside of the box. Hits a great shot to Sloxay.
No,
There's
bit of a sell by
2 versus 1 in that
Sloxay.
particular box. Not gone Sloxay's way. And this sneaky play
What is
might
happening?
just end up hurting this team. And this is a team, of course, that do need this game to be a good one. Outside of that consistency, haven't got a victory royale, of course, yet. So it's gone from bad to possibly even worse for this team, as that
Oh, it's
sneak
getting
play
much
just
worse.
didn't work out in their favor.
Who's the other team
whatsoever.
pushing too? Who's pushing
Carmino
in?
and Tricks are the ones that need to try and clutch up right now. Can he connect some shots?
What
Not
a
gonna happen.
scrappy
Misses the
fight,
shot.
bro. What is happening?
And Neuer, Yasin, and Misha are able to just turn.
Bro, this
the
sums up
tides on that
this heat better
fight
than anything.
Entirely well done to that trio.
Yeah, Misha is the last person to get a taste of his own medicine, right? I can respect the attempt, but Trix's trio had exactly 1 shot opportunity apiece. The moment that they weren't able to find that knock and confirm the elimination onto Misha, that was the open invitation for things to completely turn against them. Zaya, Bimbo, and Darky, though, hoping for a different outcome. Mass Meadows just continues to be as poppin' as ever, but they can recognize the fact that there are pulse scanners in play. They're not willing to encroach upon the position just yet. They don't want to be openly revealed. They know even if they just choose to play scavenger, they could definitely still aim to be aggressive with the teams that are kind of just rotating around the outskirts of Mass Meadows. And Darky won't have any other options. They just don't have the opening they're hoping for. And Kay,
Damn.
we are just watching the demise of the Welsh Fear Mini.
Yeah, not an ideal situation for Cade right now.
Demise of the Welsh is a crazy line.
It was not great off spawn, the way that they weren't able to convert that fight into a win for them. Then, of course, all the other teams that come on through, and the entire lobby right now, they're just like vultures. Any team that's trying to fight, there's going to be teams that are not willing to jump in box, but are willing to third party. That'll be looking
wanna
for
follow
moments
iDrop's
to
guy and
strike,
scroll a bit more here.
unfortunately for Cade, he's going to have to count his last few seconds here in group number 1, because you've got a full trio: Neuer, Yasin, and Misha.
Well, this is good for players like
Putting the
Mongrel, who
final
need
nail
some
in the
snake
coffin
innings
for
to find
Cade,
some good players for
unfortunately,
last
which has been
chance.
a really interesting off-spawn fight to watch all day. We've seen both teams having their go at it, having success in varying degrees. Even this team on screen that have been able to sort of switch drop, find a little bit more success, and then return. But unfortunately for Cade's trio, it does go the way of Misha in this final game, which is important for them because they need a good game here in order to.
Hey, you can still make it through last chance, chat. 3 teams still get to make it through. It's not completely over yet.
There was just nowhere left to run. It was so
Hey,
obvious
Shifty with the
to
prime.
Misha's trio that there's a reason this team is shooting from a distance, and the shots are not being returned. So they knew that that was just all too favorable of a spot for them to take advantage of. But Kiruo, Cringe, Volko, we saw the leaderboard heading into this final match mini. They need this game, and it's crazy to think about because their play-ins,
What is happening,
day
bro?
1, they were practically qualified for this group stage, right? Just off of 1 day of play-ins. It still did decently on the second day as well, but it's more so the fact that
Bro, the
we've
point
seen
bug is
them
killing me right now.
not have that same level of success here in this group.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the level of the lobby, the upgrade over the play-ins, and especially since this is a trio that got together for the play-ins. Cringe and Volko play with Cade for a lot of this season. It can really test you when you're a team that maybe hasn't
Group
got
2
as much
teams is going to take the
experience
last
together, you
chance
haven't got
spots.
those-
Will you be
that experience
surprised?
to rely on
Potentially,
when you do have,
like if one or two of the big
troublesome
names from Group
moments.
2 don't
So
make it through, they'd be
that
the
could a
favorites.
reason for that,
But
but they're in a good position, and as is Giras, Dinas, and Franek. This is a team that have been performing very well today, very consistent throughout all of their games. Of course, they've only had one game outside of that
Hey,
top 10.
Tillman with a team on for 9. This is a good zone for Giras.
This is an interesting one.
This is a good zone for
Last
Giras.
season, Dians and Franek actually played together, not with Giras, but Giras didn't make the Major 1 final, so he was sat in core with him and the entire team. So he thought, you know what, I've coached them. Let's just pick him up. These guys are absolutely goated, and now he's here playing with them.
Yo, Mini bringing the backstory. I like it.
His first major finals of the year. So it's nice.
Here we go, 172. Come on. Come on.
Go from coach to player and leading that team to success. I dropped Sky and Scroll by no means already qualify, which is quite a surprising statement to say at this point, Taco. I would have expected them to already be through.
The only thing I don't like about this casting duo so far is the fact that Mini Minus says Taco.
In terms of consistency.
The fucking British Taco kills me, bro.
A little bit further up in comparison to some other teams in the lobby, but they can't get comfortable by any means. You don't want to find yourself autopiloting, but I hope that doesn't deter them from going for some early skirmishes, because we know how much firepower they actually have. I mean, even just
what's wrong with that? It's Taco, bro. It's Taco. Come on. Taco just sounds so weird.
Still competing and weren't able to secure a victory royale earlier on in the day. It's definitely surprising.
It's better.
To say
It's
the
better
least.
than the language is
Vanya
okay.
Scenarios joining
Come
them
on.
that same no, another team that you just would have expected to have made it through by now. Granted,
There's no R in it. Bro, what kind of logic is what?
As far as consistency is concerned, Polish though, wrong neighborhood. He at least made it onto the launch pad, but unfortunately,
You
Zinx
say
just
Tuesday?
chooses
So
to
do British
continue
people.
trying to
What do you
close
mean?
in.
That's literally
Not gonna
Tuesday
have the
in it
same
is
level of
literally the
success.
British meme. What the fuck are you
Sam's
smoking?
paying off
No way,
dividends
that was your
currently.
choice to
That
clap
first
back with.
elimination
Come on, bro.
gonna be
There's
a
many
huge
words I
thorn in
say
the side
terribly. You
here.
should not have gone with Tuesday.
Robsio and Polish
I got that
now
from
having
you.
to reconsider how they actually want to play this one forward.
That's the British in me.
Moments. I mean, when you're in game 5 right here, we spoke about that team. They need a massive game, second last on the leaderboard. Every single move you make, every single edit, every single build place just has that increased level of meaning, that increased pressure. And unfortunately for Polish's team, it looks as though the pressure's gonna no longer be a thing, but not for a good reason, as I think they're gonna be out of the lobby, back to reassess. Zinx, Brownie, Sampy, all of these guys.
What the fuck is happening?
Their pressure, their aggression. And Polish is the last player standing. As his health is dwindling through the storm. It's only a matter of time right now before Sampy can take him
Damn, this
out.
team
That's
is
their fourth
stacked
elimination of the
as
game.
shit. Look at their meds.
I'm
Oh my
excited to
god.
see what this trio can do here.
Yo,
in
this
game
team
now,
is
bolstered by those
stacked.
eliminations.
It's a huge learning lesson, though. No launchpad is considered.
Ooh, Dan DePuzzo going island. Okay.
Inside the storm you might feel yourself to be is Eltenzi, Dan DePuzzo. They're gonna be the ones looking to try.
Oh,
But keep in mind, Mini, when you're talking about teams that are just outside
that's a big upgrade.
The realm of reaching the consistency measure for the leaderboard, Dan DePuzzo's team kind of skirting the line here. They do need a really strong pop-off performance here.
oh.
They do, and they're doing everything they can to get that. With
Well,
that island.
Yasin's not making.
Neuer.
Oh, maybe. Wait.
Yasin and Misha. This is a team
clutch
that's
and the double
working very
res.
well off spawn. Hopefully they'll be able to continue
clutch
that.
and the
this replay
double
shows
res.
that They are.
The hero of the
So nicely
squad.
done there to clutch up. Get his team
Dude,
back
nothing's gonna beat that
alive, get his
Marius
team
1v3
back
today, though.
standing.
That was disgusting.
And it's moments like that that you can really look back on sometimes when you at the end of the season and say, yeah, that was the moment that really was the catapult for our entire season, particularly now that Cade, of course, is not going to be featuring in
More
the
aggressive Anonymous.
Major 2 finals
Last game's
as of
always
right
more
now.
scrappy, because if you're in like 28th, your only chance of qualifying is to win. So you're like, you need to play for the loot to get the win. You can't just like try and get a top 5, you know?
Because that confidence is going to be so much more important.
XW's, Potosa, and Artskill, they're also a team that's definitely got a solid amount of confidence that
This
they're
team
working
should be
with.
qualified,
And
yeah.
sitting at 204 points currently, you have to anticipate that they are pretty much set, but you still
Lava,
wanna
thanks to
close
Prime for
things out
18,
in
thanks to year and a
clean
half.
fashion. Even if you know that you're basically guaranteed off of the consistency
Why didn't
measure,
Thomas kind of slow down
why
after
not
second?
make
The
it
Glow was just one
flashy to
season,
close?
bro.
Why not showcase?
It's only been literally, he only slowed down for one season.
What we were asking for from this team was to actually
Just a bad
develop
season, man.
consistency in comparison to some of the woes that trailed them in that first major. They're definitely looking to try and shift that conversation for Major 2.
For sure, and it's not a really good start for them. in terms of how this major is kicking
Yeah,
off.
he's doing well this season with Panzer and Apple, yeah.
Likewise, they've been pretty solid today. Haven't been absolutely incredible, but each player has the ability, has the talent to make it to the finals. And I think this is a team that we would expect to see in the major finals, especially with how much experience both all three players have playing together, and of course now as a full trio.
Bit of a rough spot there, though, for Cringe's team. And after a certain point, even some of our more experienced players, you can expect a little bit of nerves to sort of factor in, because we did see...
Wow.
Cringe and Volko,
The Italians have been tanking Storm. 5,813 Storm in 4 games.
Confirm themselves. That's what they're looking to do in this final game 5 here.
Veno would be so proud.
Time could potentially be running out, or it could be working out in their favor, but they've got to keep...
That's a lot of Storm damage tanks, bro.
Good overview, though, of what's actually taking place on that mountain span, as surge damage does seem to be a huge threat here currently.
Ooh, good part of zone, though.
Sneaky beaky here for Kiduo, Volko, Cringe. They're trying to make sure they're not heard going deep into the storm right here.
Oh, we are going deep on the wraparound.
Take advantage of that dead side, of course.
I don't know about this heal grenade
over there, so Volko's going to try and make those his.
Never mind.
You can just see
that making this
incredible storm tank, and yeah, it's going to be the med mist that he ends up grabbing.
Never mind. This is definitely the play.
To rotate actually around the hill, back
I didn't see the shrine.
the other side.
This is why Veno wants to be here, by the way, chat. If you guys are wondering why Veno picked this mountain as his drop spot, you saw it right there. I think it's 5 shrines, 2 trucks, and maximum storm tank potential. It's like the ultimate Veno drop.
Risk first reward. Could definitely
edge map as well, so you can tank and storm and wrap around dead side like it's a full Veno drop.
Pixie, though, they're just going to play steady.
You bend with the Prime?
Something that we've definitely witnessed pretty strongly from this trio throughout the course of the day. Although they haven't been able to get the Victory Royale, Game 5 is still an opportunity to do so, and it definitely helps.
No, it's more than 1 truck, man. I think they're on 3 or 4 different truck spawns, so some games they even get 2 trucks. They get basically 1 guaranteed every game, but they sometimes even get 2.
Just completely spraying down those builds.
Center map? No, very edge map, bro. It's the mount next to Mars Meadows, man. Definitely not center. Super far south. It's literally, their drop literally touches the water on the south of the map.
Sky and Squirrel, who haven't really had a peaceful day whatsoever. Gonna be able to make a nice big base here, though. Really
great
nice
zone pull.
Pulls. I think they spend a little bit more materials.
It should be the quality here for iDrop, surely.
A bit of a topsy-turvy day in terms of this trio. I feel like they haven't really been a trio for a lot of it. Of course, we remember that amazing clutch in game number 1 from Scroll and Sky. Where would they be if they didn't have that amazing clutch? So I think it's definitely been a bit of a rocky road for them so far today. They can make it all good if they qualify through here at the end. It'll all be forgotten, I'm sure, but hopefully something that they can learn from as they progress through this season. Marius, Vanyak and Pixie, though, trying to make the way up this hill. It's actually pulled back towards the south, so it'll be a little bit difficult for all those teams that did make that dead side rotate. I think it's
easy rotate.
They don't have triple kneecapper.
iDrop is Norwegian. Sky and Scroll are dangerous, though.
As long as they can find their way through this path, they should be okay.
They might even be able to just collapse on a team on their trek up the mountainside.
Yeah.
You can imagine that not every single one of these trios is going to be in prime positioning or prime loadouts, but they might have a kneecapper or 2 if Pixie and them can find the eliminations. Lucy and Gabix, though, at the very
Our storm
bottom,
tanking Italians, unfortunately, not looking too great.
On the backside of the zone, and they might have to tank a couple of storm ticks in the process, but it's definitely a worthwhile sacrifice if it means.
Yeah, so this is very big Jabba. So I know they've got the FNCS Divisional Cups now. They're not really FNCS. This is actually FNCS. So every one of these groups is how 10 of the 33 teams make it to Grand. So kind of a huge deal.
Unfortunately for them,
yeah, Rescar, I saw your DM, bro. I'll message you after stream, homie. I got you. Really slowing down who we send them to, but people have actually been supporting me for a while. I'm still
next couple of shots are as accurate as ever. They cannot afford to miss when dealing with a full trio.
Yeah, Storm Surge.
Let me put on my to-do list, bro, so I don't forget.
It's not ideal. And of course, we saw the stat earlier. 200 points should do it if we base it on history. Historical data shows that 200 points is enough. It was enough on both EU and NA.
So Savage
that's the
did
sort
play
of
with
prime
iDrop for a little
target
bit.
of
Slick.
these
That's the
players.
only time he's played with the
When he
Norwegian.
told Putrix, this is a team
But
that
when
we've seen
Savage
a
was
lot of
streaming,
today,
they would
not
speak
for the good
English
reasons
and a bit of
necessarily,
Norwegian.
only on 45 or 48 points, I should say.
Fair, fair.
A team that really
Still farm
needs
that
this game
advert
to
for you,
go
baby. Let's
successfully for them. That's
go.
why they're really playing for height early on. Of course, it has its benefits, Taco.
Oh, this could be the win for Putrix, maybe. 97 AR ammo, though, is not ideal. We're going to run out of that.
So it can work out in their favor.
Oh, yeah, and Dreader,
with
true.
how
But
this
that was
game's gonna
trios,
go,
wasn't it? Not duos. So
just don't know.
their
because
third
so
wasn't
many teams
Norwegian.
also need that victory as well.
Got to be nailing more of those shots as well to try and
Yeah,
control
'cause their
the
third
flow
was
of those
Revscout,
teams
right?
that are looking to play through that secondary height position, especially a team like Vanya, Marius, and Pixie. There's the connections that we're hoping for from Letty onto ice, and that's definitely going to put a bit of a halt there. Snazy and Floki know that they're going to have to wait.
So, Chav, you just got here. Pixie's team's pretty much through. Potasai's team's pretty much through. They've got enough points. But iDrop, Sky, and Scroll needs a little bit more here.
They want to make sure that they are staying well above
this
the
guy
damage
is
threshold
beaming.
should it come into play here. They also just want the additional points. Every little bit counts at this point.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, shit, okay.
Consistency, and oh my goodness. You cannot be open for more than a second because it's beams like that when you're on height, which has opened the door for teams down below to then think, okay, one of them's beamed, let's go on up. So they've got to watch out for those
iDrop's in a good spot here. I think iDrop's closed this out.
Really favorable zone for them. Pulls back and also back over the hill, which is going to be
Great zone for them. Oh my God. Great zone.
Decide to rotate and play that sort of lower section of the map. These zones today, Taco, have been unrelenting, but for a team that's on height, you would expect them to ride out this high ground position, given that they're now in the prime position to take over this entire lobby.
It's really just Vanya, Marius,
Oh,
and
Jake
Pixie,
Buka's pushing with
as
that
well as
plasma
even
rifle.
Sky, Scroll, and iDrop.
Oh, he's
can't
pushing.
afford to
Oh,
let them
he's
out of your
down.
sights for
Cruel
even
is
a
down.
moment. Kolb and Putrix, they've got other plans in mind, but Volko,
Oh, Cringe on 175. They're looking good too. This
up,
might be the
working their
highest
way
top
through
5
the
qual
tunnels,
we've ever seen in
coming
groups.
into effect
I'm going to be
here.
honest.
But Scroll, Sky,
190 was the
iDrop,
highest last season on EU, and this is looking like a 200.
Scurrying overhead. Gida's going to manage to find elimination. Much needed as well. Running a little bit low in that materials refresh as well as that damage threshold. Going to bode more in his favor. But Volko, that is a massive shot onto Vanya. A huge
Damn, 8
threat.
eliminations.
Just
Volko.
eliminated.
This is the game I was expecting them to have earlier.
Weekend trio now. Marius and Pixie. If anybody can do
This is the
it,
game
it's
they
certainly
needed.
these two, but they are in
Vanya's
a
already
world
quals,
of
that's
hurt
fine.
still. A duo having to scale this mountain face and deal with all the teams dogpiling around them.
Such an important end game here as well for Sky.
Really, Revscout?
Scroll,
Do you think
and
so? I
iDrop.
must be doing
They're
my
not
math
quite
wrong,
safe
man.
and secure yet. They need to make this game count. We've seen them do it on multiple occasions. Giras now as a solo. I think he might just have it all locked up. But he's going to try and clutch up as much as
128
he can.
builds
We
at
spoke about
least.
it earlier how this is a player that was picked up 2 amazing fraggers for this season. It's now him that's going to have to solo clutch to success here. Kiduo, Volko, Cringe, they're a team that does need this to be a very good game as well. We see 2 of our teams that need to make sure they make it into this end game.
Yeah, Kiduo and
as
Scroll
late as
both looking
possible,
good
and
here.
At the very least, in order to qualify through to the Major 2 finals here. Huge stakes, Taco.
The high ground is getting messy as ever. Scroll managing to actually break his way back through the scaling, this down face of the mountainside. Giras still clinging on for dear life.
Ooh, Marius not going down, though.
Choose to play off of his builds, stick towards that back of zone. Marius, Pixie, only 1 elimination still in tow. We know that they're relatively well off, but how firmly can they cement themselves in their position on that leaderboard? That's what we have to question at this point. They're still stuck inside the secondary height layer. Scroll, iDrop, they seem like
Ooh, this could be a low ground win. This could be a low ground win for iDrop. I like this. They need 1 big mat refresh. Oh, high ground dies to fall. Wait. If Misha's team clutches this as a duo. Oh, never mind, it's still a full trio. Never mind, it was the replay glitch. No.
Bit of a difficult day overall. You have
Go,
to
Misha,
say
go.
They're looking not so difficult right now, all the way up on high ground. Looking at their builds, it might just fizzle out a little bit earlier than they expect. And this is what we've seen from a lot of teams today. Can they find that refresh that's going to keep them going? They have the heal condition. They have that exotic chug jug as they're spraying on down below. They have
Cringe
to
or
use
iDrop
every
winning
single
here will
one
push the
of
qual
those
down a lot
medium
lower
bullets to
too.
make sure that nobody can take this high ground off of them, because this zone, this is in a very mountainous area. Things can change so quickly, Taco.
Big fights, bro. Jeez. Pixie's still going too. Pixie not going down.
It would be a travesty to think that they could miss cast out, but Misha gonna be eliminated from the skies.
Ooh.
Sky, eye drop now.
The triple chug jug, the triple chug jug.
Place inside of this mid-ground. Pixie trying to see if he can scurry around, but Pixie shut down.
Marius
That's gonna be the
solo.
first knock. Marius, though, he can't
Wait, how many points did Cringe end on? Oh my god, Marius is playing crazy today, bro. Marius is playing so well right now. Oh, he finally falls. What the fuck is going on? Wait, Misha wins. Misha has to win this. Surely Misha wins this. Misha has to win this, surely. What the fuck is going on? This is the weirdest end game. Wait, did they get Mr. Savage? Did they get Mr. Savage? Wait, where's Scroll? They got Mr. Savage? No. He almost clutched it. Oh shit, it's Misha. They almost got Mr. Savage. Damn. What a ridiculous finish, bro. Holy shit. That was so messy. We needed like a drone shot to actually figure out what the fuck was going on just then.
So badly, and the fact that they're able to convert game
nice
into their victory royale, beautiful scenes.
Misha to Grand.
I was almost shaking for them there at the end because the stakes were so high.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, HD, Shortcake, Barefoot, Pazer, Ben. All right, I didn't even know what to make this one. Mr. Savage, like the Shadow Bomb, you know? The little height take on top of them. They drop down, you go up, you know? Making this. Okay, I tried to cook, right? Leave me alone. Shit. We'll make it Yassen, chat. Easy to spell for you guys because Misha sometimes double I. So chat, Yassen. We'll go with Yassen for the V-Buck giveaway. Why are we spamming Mr. Savage? What the fuck? You guys are too funny, bro. I just say a name and you guys just start spamming. It's great. I should play around with this idea.
Onto him earlier on over by Mask Meadows, and then the fact that they're able to
Thank you, Chickens, the channel 41.
That sort of
Thank you,
position,
Ben.
finding those early eliminations, it seems like they were able to convert it almost flawlessly.
Anytime a team's on high ground and drops down and loses height and loses, it's Mr. Savage to me.
But it's been an absolutely fantastic Group 1 performance. That's going to do it for us,
Oh,
though. Games 1 through 5 all cleanly wrapped up. We'll get a chance, though, to review what.
All right, chat, let's see who qual. Let's see who qual.
Thanks
for joining me, chat. Appreciate y'all, especially all being sick. You guys are amazing. I love y'all. This is fun as shit.
And
This is the scrappiest group, too.
Making yet another successful duo debut in the FNCS. There's something about that, Taco. I think she's the
15 more seconds, chat, and then we'll call the Yassen giveaway.
As well. So let's talk about this wonder trio, Noya, Yassen, and Misha, because they had a great game 4. They showed the potential there, and then game 5 got off to a fantastic start. They
She will. I didn't know this was Misha for like half the tournament. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm so sorry, Mini Miner. And then they made good.
All right, we'll call the giveaway there. Thanks for entering, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they needed that victory.
Thank you, Oxo, with the prime for 10.
I drop in those final moments, but I drop based
Qual
on that
was
placement.
2-11. That's fucking crazy. It shows how scrappy this group was, man.
We're 21st going into this match.
This is a very scrappy group.
That victory royale. There was only 2 games today that they didn't get eliminated in the early game, and they got 6th and a VR11.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you look at how things have played out for a team like this who spends most of the day fighting off spawn, our spawn battle got quite a bit personal, right? One of the beauties of this format is the fact that, like, when teams win and leave the lobby, it's like, okay, we can't just move POIs. These guys were consistently just fighting that mask, like they weren't giving it up. And I think based off of how that last game went, it's like the team you're fighting against probably won't be able to qualify now. It must feel good for them to get.
High call means not a lot of surprise game winners. No, it means a lot of high. No, it means a lot of surprise winners. Because if a surprise winner gets it, it means like a team that's really good consistently gets more points, making it harder to qual.
It came good. So let's take a look at the 5 trios who have put
the more good teams that win, the easier qual is for points because.
So if you can cast your mind back to a mere few hours ago, 11.
Yeah, some wins like I would say like Stormy Riot, Fire Bro, and then Misha winning is what really like pushed it down. Because then you've got like Vanya needs to get through on points, iDrop needs to get through on points, Cringe has to get through on points. Like it
all of them have played in finals before,
pushes it down.
So no surprises to see them get it done.
Yeah, then we also have Stormy Right. I mean, a blast from the past. Last finals that he qualified to was.
So chat, I'm not ending, by the way. NA starts in about 2.5 hours. I'll be staying live until then. We're gonna watch some YouTube. We've got the Dignitas video, which looks like a fucking banger to watch.
Yeah, last time Stormy Right was in a final, me and you were casting EU.
Should be a good time, man.
Definitely a bit of a flashback. It feels like it's been a long time since then. Game number 3, Hatris, Haris, Tayson, and Chicho got it done. I think when you're looking at the big favorites in the lobby, this was a team I think people would have expected to do it.
Are the Dig FN boys smarter than a 5th grader? I can already tell it's going to be a good one.
Last major, they didn't win a game when they were playing with Trulex instead of Haris. This major, though, they're able to get the win. That extra bit of firepower was enough to get it done.
It feels like the big names in the lobby, obviously outside of your Tayson, really, are trios that have put up really consistent performances today. So let's see who made it through to the majors from consistency points. The majors, I should say, the major finals.
Cringe.
Vanya, Pixie, Marius.
2-11. Oh, let me turn this off. All right, actually, let's go right side. Let's do this. All right, so what do we get? Is that right? All right, cool. So we got Vanya, Pixie, Marius, 282. Diners, Giras, and Frantic, 250. iDrop, Sky, and Scroll, 244. Art Skill, Potosai, Xweezy, 237. And then Cringe, Volko, Kidowo, 211. 211 points to make it off consistency. Again, like I said, last groups was like 175, 180, and 190. So 211 is crazy. Bro, 204. My man didn't qualify on 204 points. That was a big-ass drop down. Damn. Ricky really, really needed Misha's team to not win that last game. They needed that win to go to, who was the end? Marius? Was it iDrop? Whoever it was at the very end there. Damn. That's crazy to not qual on that many points. Jeez.
And at times it was close, but it's good to see them sort of get it done there towards the end. I think this is a team I'm really excited to see in the major finals. Kidowo, Vocal, Cringe, all players with experience in that field. But altogether, I think there's
the prime,
some potential there to build off of now.
Yeah, it's because this group was a lot weaker. Not weaker, less experienced, especially.
Go for the train strat this time, and yet it felt like it was their best game to Carter when they actually went away from something they've been practicing.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have as much of, the...
Yeah, how did my prez go? Let's see. How did my prez go? Actually, wait for the broadcast. How much my prez?
And they still got the refreshes, and they still played well. I'm curious to see what kind of spot they're going to be able to secure in the major finals as more and more trios qualify. But overall, I think they're set up to potentially...
It was most of the teams we expected.
That can make something happen.
Looking at page 2 of the standings, guys, there are definitely some names who I am expecting to see in the last chance qualify. If you cast your eye to number 17, Floki, Snazy, and I, surely 11. That's going to be a trio to contend with when it comes to those last 3 spots.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a tough day for these guys. They were initially going to be contesting at Shiny, decided not to do that. They decided they wanted to, land at a spot, be Uncon at the Mosses, and it didn't quite go their way. And so, not to, stir the pot a bit, but maybe French teams should just keep contesting people. I don't know.
Yo, Levin, what up? Levin, what are we doing?
In the last chance, and I hope we see them make it through.
So Levin's now farming for the French viewership to Carter. Is there anyone that you wanna try and get engagement from now? Any trios you want to mention?
Thank you. I'm the prime for 8.
Farming here, no glazing so far. We'll see in the next groups if maybe I'll do some more of that.
Okay.
What are we doing, bro?
Have we seen our Major 2 Blade of Champion winners today, Levin?
I am going to say we have not. I'm gonna say we have. I think
I like rivalry, right? I like kind of making things a little interesting, but there's not one clear winner on EU. There's a lot of few options.
They're all in Group 2. Let's be real. Someone in Group 2 is winning grands. Let's be real.
I let you get off lightly there. I interrupted you. Give me a reason then. Come on. Be brutal. Come on.
My reasoning is part of the reason why I think every person watching this right now should keep watching. When you look at Group 2 and Group 3 next
Group 2
week,
is crazy.
We got some amazing teams still to come, and that's why.
W11, W.
So much more.
Vanya, maybe Vanya. You're right. Vanya could win grands. Vanya's the one from this group that could win grands. Yeah, they're a top 5, 100%. Yeah, that's true.
The Pro-Am is coming your way. Don't forget to get your tickets. We can't wait to see you in the City of Angels, and I can't wait to see what happens.
City of Angels, God. All right, so how did my predictions go? Let's see. Okay, so we got yes. Actually, I'll just do Y's. What am I doing? Yes. Okay, my top 5, I'm pretty confident. That's the top 5 I made my YouTube video on. So my top 5 was good. This was a no. I gave them way too much credit with Uncon Seaport. No. Yes. I trusted the Frenchies, man. No. And then no. Okay, so I got 7. 7 out of 10. I'll take 7 out of 10. That's not bad. This was like the 5 that I was like extremely confident on. But I'll take 7 out of 10. That's pretty solid. That's all right. Not bad, not bad. All right, now, what's the plan now? I don't really know how it works with YouTube. What I'll do is I'll end on YouTube. So YouTube gang, I'm going to end on YouTube and I'm going to go live again. So if you guys want to swing back for NA, be my guest. NA starts in about 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours now. No, 2.5. No, yeah, less than 3. Oh shit, it's like no time at all. 2.5 hours until NA starts. If you guys want to swing back by for then or swing by my Twitch channel, I'm going to stay live, watch some YouTube and vibe out. So peace out, YouTube. I love y'all. I'll